Buying GF 10K. 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 Buying GF 100. Oh, now we get everybody trade. Yeah, now everybody follows. Welcome to Super Pixels Weekly, a podcast about video game news and anything else revolving around video games and the nerd subculture. We are your co-hosts. I'm Donovan.
And I'm William. Our show is available on all major podcast platforms and in video form on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to email in your questions or comments for the show at superpixelsweekly@gmail.com. Also, our individual Twitch and YouTube links are in the description, so hit us up over there as well. You're muted.
I did. One last thing. Get some sweet deals on PC games through Instant Gaming with the link below. If you're listening, if you're on Twitch, it's in the banner in the About Me section. It's run through my Twitch. And if you want to donate to us or the podcast or anything like that, what you can actually do instead of cutting a giant paper check like your Publishers Clearinghouse is donate to the charities that are linked below if you're listening and in the description on Twitch. For Extra Life, and there's a link in there for the Children's Healthcare Network. It gives you a big description of what they do to help out kids and all that, but Extra Life is a charity we support, and what they do is they help kids that are in extenuating circumstances in hospitals when it comes to like cancer and stuff like that, and instead of using the money for us, that money goes to them, and kids can't wait, so send that money their way.
Yes.
According to the Twitch chat, Donnie smells. Sorry.
Nice. Also joining us today as well is Mr. LOWMESA. He is back.
Hey.
The one.
One and only. I didn't come up with any nicknames this time.
Yeah, damn, dude. Fuck.
Mr. Low Testosterone.
Yep.
He back.
AKA Low Tyrone.
Low-Tyrone? Low Toblerone? The chocolate bar? What?
Low-Torola, like the song.
Oh.
Always in service.
Oh man. So obviously we're back to do the games that made us again. Where this is part 2. Last time we just talked about a bunch of games that we enjoyed throughout our life, basically, and we're doing it again because there's a lot of good video games out there. So
Yeah, so if you're just joining us for whatever reason, you decided to pick a random episode. 2 weeks ago, at this point, at the time of this recording, we were doing part 1. If you want to listen to that, that's cool. It'll be back there. You can find it on all the platforms. But so this week, yeah, LOWMESA's back. But just a caveat off of that. All of the description is going to have everything you can need, or everything you will need to find him on Twitch. But the main thing the point I'm trying to make is just go follow him on Twitch. I think we covered it the first part. Let's get him to affiliate, because who doesn't like to be paid to play video games, or be paid to uninstall and then reinstall video games, right? So
Yes.
and I feel like that's the tone for this episode after this, but
we'll definitely get to that. I do want to talk about that.
100%.
So real quick before we jump into everything, I did want to talk about something that's like way more serious going on than video games in our little podcast. Obviously everything in the world going on with Ukraine and stuff, really fucking crazy. And we're not doing news this week, but I did want to touch on the fact that a lot of video game companies are pulling sales and shit to kind of fuck Russia over. And I just want to say, Microsoft, Nintendo, EA, good on them, man. Stick it to fucking basically Hitler.
The man, yeah.
Yeah, for real. I mean, obviously that sucks for the people of Russia as well, but there's a lot more important things than video games right now, so.
No, yeah, 100%. The cool thing about that and the similarities between what we're talking about, and I use the word similarities extremely loosely, is the fact that we like to pride ourselves on being video game journalists, which is a fucking complete lie, but it feels good deep down inside. But using a platform, not necessarily our platform, but video games as a medium and a platform to say your piece about like however you feel about Ukraine. If you feel a certain type of way, keep it yourself, I guess. In the certain type of way I mean is on the negative side, not in support of Ukraine, but all these companies showing their support for Ukraine and everything by like nixing all of their profits from Russia or keeping their profits from Russia and donating them to the company or the country, excuse me. It's just insane to if you put into perspective just how much money video games make in general, supporting a country, right, so to speak. So I don't know, it's good. It's a feel good type of news situation in a very, very dark scenario. Or like a bad situation. So yeah, honestly, good on who was it? It was Microsoft for one, and I think EA, which is fucking. You're never gonna hear right now. Everybody that if you're anywhere, just screen record if you're on an iPhone or listening, or like if you're on Twitch, like fucking hold your phone up. I don't know, just record this. I'm never gonna say it again. Good on you, EA, for once in your fucking miserable lives, right?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time shitting on EA, and I wanted to just bring them up. Like it's a good thing what they're doing, and they also are removing Russia from FIFA games too, which is crazy as well.
About fucking time, bro. I swear to God. Good. You motherfucker. I know who you are. I don't know who you are, but whoever you are out there, Mr. Russian FIFA hacker that fucked my EA account over.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
I forgot about that.
Get fucked, dude. Your ruble's worth dog shit.
But yeah, I just wanted to we got our little tiny platform over here as a podcast just to shed some light on that. So, yeah, want to mention that. Let's transition into lighter stuff. You guys want to just jump right into games, or what's up? Yeah,
I mean, unless X has like any type of thing. So, like realistically, right now, LOWMESA, our guest is. I'm gonna bring it up because I like the joke. Is actually our field reporter right now, reporting live from Lingrave in front of the Ur Tree from the realms in between, in in Elden Ring. So how's that going over there? Is it going good?
Yeah, just spoke to Tree Sentinel. He
fuck that guy.
had some choice words to say to me and the whole population of the worlds in between. He said basically run up and get done up, and I think he really means that, honestly.
No, he definitely means that. I've experienced it.
He came up and ran them pockets for those runes. What do you mean?
That dude is not fucking around.
Bro, he's still running my pockets.
Torrent the horse is up on cinder blocks right now. Like.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm gonna be here for quite some time. I don't think I'm gonna be able to leave the area with so much of a dangerous presence around. So I'm just hiding in churches and caves.
That's
understandable. I mean,
understandable.
Yeah. Really go.
Yeah.
Just you're out there just trying to survive. We can respect that.
That's all I can do.
What a stupid bit.
Nah, fuck you. I love that bit. You're out of your mind.
Me too.
So I guess we can roll into, or I guess transition. Absolutely not. But I remembered which ones I said. So
I do not.
Damn. Like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about The Sims.
None of it's gonna come out the gate. Resident Evil.
Gonna say everything we said last time.
Yeah, like, oh, it's so good. And you're like, yeah, man, I avoided Resident Evil games for so long. You're like, oh, well, let me tell you about it.
We should just redo that.
Just part 1.5 verbatim. Like,
I mean, I can start.
Yeah, if you want to, we'll go back. We'll do the same thing where it'll be like X, William, me, and then loop back around. That's cool. I'm cool with that.
I'm done with that. Let's do it.
Knock it out of the park.
I'm going to have to go ahead and say, even though I've never beaten one of these games in this franchise, I'm going to have to say Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is like a very pivotal game in my childhood and my development, just because I think that was one of the first open world games I've played, probably like Vice City, honestly. But like I really played San Andreas, like where I could just do anything that I fucking wanted, dude. Like, it's like my first foray into like role playing without actually role playing. Like I was doing GTA RP before that shit even existed, by my fucking self, a single player.
Before they developed these servers and shit, like.
Yeah, man. That game was super fun, just running around killing people, like especially like at the time, like senseless violence was lost on me, but like Grand Theft Auto completely like changed that for me, dude. So like stealing cars, driving around cool cars, or even just like the notion of driving around the city and doing absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Drinking like my coolers, my Capri Suns, and just cruising, listening to the radio.
Your Kool-Aid jammers vibing to
You know what I'm
fucking
saying?
Dr.
Like-
Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I remember playing that game back in the day and thinking that map was so fucking big. Like, that was the biggest map I've ever seen. I was like, this is
was pretty big.
huge.
It was.
Like,
and
it's still pretty, like, a pretty good size, but like compared to like fucking Elden Ring, like,
yeah, no. So I think
it's
for
nothing, but
I think
that
for
game
us,
had, like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what's up?
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That game had like four different sections of the whole map, wasn't it? Or like three?
So
three
it was like, I want to say like 3.5, because it was like the three
Yeah,
main
like,
islands, and then it was like a separate little section with Liberty City that you could go back to, which was fucking bonkers at the time, because you're like, holy shit, we're getting crossovers. It's like the MCU over here. Like,
Did you go? You went back to Liberty City in that game?
yeah, there was a mission thingy where you worked for one of the it was Sunny. I forget what the fuck their stupid ass like overtly stereotypical Italian names were in San Andreas. But you flew up in a jet, and you jumped off, parachuted, and you like commandeered this like commercial airliner thing, and you flew to Liberty City to go shoot up a fucking pizzeria. I don't know, whatever else is stereotypically Italian.
Oh, nice.
In true like Sonny Leone, yeah, the Leone family. You helped like the protagonists or antagonists from GTA 3 for like, I think they're like, oh yo CJ, I got a job for you guys, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, it was like 3.5 islands, because to caveat into that, or to roll into like your point, San Andreas was like, for our little like 12, 13-year-old fucking minds, was like mind-boggling, because I think it was San Fernando, which was the last island or something. But it had like that giant fucking mountain, which is like Mount Chiliad now in GTA 5, where it was just open expanse of desert, or Blaine County in GTA 5, where like we were like, holy shit, you can do this? There's so much room for me to like shoot fucking bullets at a fridge out in the open for no reason. Like,
I just remember there being the Vegas section. I really liked that part, because the big pyramid and shit. Like, I thought that was cool.
Dude, and like cheat codes being so like bountiful, like being able to pretty much do whatever the fuck you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. Like, memorizing cheat. Like, take me back to the days where I have like a single loose leaf piece of paper and just like a shit ton of cheat codes scrawled on it.
A 3-ring binder cut piece of paper just folded up inside the CD case. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Written in pen.
absolutely. Yeah, I remember back in the day, like, I never played the GTA stories. It was only cheat code.
Same. That's it.
All.
That's all
That
I
was
got
it.
for you.
R1, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up, left down, right up.
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Which one is that? Is that?
I think that was like weapon. That was Vice City, and it was L1, R1, L2, R2, left down, right up, left down, right up, and it was weapon. Give all weapons section 3, and it was Vice City, because I remember that, because that third one gave you the chainsaw, and you could run around like a maniac. Like,
I remember, I think on GTA 3 that was a health cheat or something like that. Something like that.
I think the cheats changed with whichever shoulder buttons you were hitting, but I know for a fact, I want to say, like, I'm 80% sure, like, every single one was left down, right up, because I remember, like, circling the D-pad with my thumbs, like, yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I didn't beat GTA games until 5, so.
I still haven't beat 5. Like, I've never beat a GTA game, never come close. I usually just get right into the world and start fucking shit up immediately.
I mean, that's definitely a way to play it, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't knock it at all.
I'm a story-enriched individual, and I always go for the story. Especially, San Andreas was one of the games that had, like, I mean, it looks like dog shit now if you look back, like, honestly. But, like, it had one of the most, like, groundbreaking, like, stories. I mean, we'll take the jetpack out of the equation. And, like, that Area 52 or whatever they had. But it had one of the most, like, down-to-earth, and this is a fucking stretch, stories, because you went to Grove Street and you were like, wow, dude, I really am just a guy from the hood. And then you go to fucking you do the loop-de-loop of the islands, you come back, you're like, I'm gonna end my life in the hood, you know, like, CJ, you were supposed to chase the train. Like,
No, I
Big Smoke.
yeah, we gotta talk about Big Smoke.
I need 2 number 9s, a number 6 extra dip. Like,
You can't talk about San Andreas without that guy.
That shit was funny. I actually did see that. Like, I watch people play that game now. There's this guy named Exit Gamer or something, like some like
Exhibit Tamer, I know. He's got the white wife beater and the black and the I know exactly what you're talking about.
I watch him play that game all the time. I follow him on like all social media platforms. The dude's hilarious. He looks just like CJ. He like kind of like does his CJ cosplay.
Yeah.
God, it's so great.
And he'll like
Shoutouts.
he sets CJ's character model because you could do like because that was the first groundbreaking GTA where you could like change clothes and shit. And I know he like cosplays as CJ, but like he makes CJ wear the same shit, just like a black bandana and a white wife beater.
And also, that's the first one that was kind of like an RPG where you could build up your strength, be fat, stuff like that. So that was cool.
Oh, I do remember that. Like having to hit the gym and shit to get muscle.
Hey, bro, you went to fucking McCock Cluckin' or whatever the restaurant was called. You need to go burn those calories at the gym, bro. It was also a dating sim. Like, you could have girlfriends or whatever. Like, I remember that, too. Yeah.
That game was innovative. Holy
yeah,
shit.
honestly, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. Holy fuck.
I think it was the first GTA to have jetpacks, too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that is true. Do you remember, like, the way GTA started is just, like, this top-down, like, terrible piece of shit, and it's come so far, man.
Well, that was the terrible top-down piece of shit was groundbreaking at the time because, like, I remember vaguely because I'm a product of the 90s, but I remember, like, the uproar in the 90s of, like, the whole Janet Reno bullshit and, like, video games being like, oh, video games are fucking ruining our children, oh my god, and, like, GTA was the sole conspirator, and then nobody gave a shit. With GTA 1 and 2 with the top down, but then when you put it into 3D, like after Kojima made Metal Gear Solid and it was like a three-dimensional thing and you had violence in real time, I guess, so to speak, and then GTA 3 came out, people were like, these kids are fucking hookers and then blowing their brains out, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, Mom, it's a game, like, what do you mean?
That's
Like,
pretty fucked up, though.
like, it is, honestly, but like, it's a game, like, I don't go out and do that in real life. Like,
I hope not.
fuck, I got some missing time, like I was abducted by aliens, I hope not too.
Man. But yeah, that's how Rockstar is though, with like innovating and stuff. Like, I feel like every game they do is just so many steps above the next, like, or the one before it. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 compared to GTA 5 is such a big leap, and GTA 5 is an amazing game too, like amazing story, and like who knows what they're gonna do with 6, because god,
that shit's never coming out, dude. So you say Red Dead 2 is like better than GTA 5?
Yeah, well, they're different games, but like if you're talking about story, I think so.
Yeah, I think the Red Dead 2 story is 1,000% better than GTA 5. That's not to shit on GTA 5 story, because I kind of liked how GTA 5's story went, where it was like 3 protagonists, and it did change depending on what choices you made, which, if you murdered Franklin, you're a piece of shit, so I mean, throw that out there. Or murdered Trevor, or whatever the story was. No, it's Trevor, yeah, because Michael made Franklin go kill Trevor. But if you were like, you know, a human being with a conscience, you were like, hey, no, wait a minute, these guys are boys. But I liked how it went back to like the roots of like the true crime GTA, where it was like, hey, we're bank robbers and this is what we do, you know, like, where it was like, I mean, not to shit on San Andreas again too, but like the fact that San Andreas became like this, well, no, not even shitting on it. San Andreas was the same thing, where it was like kind of a political statement, where it was like, yo, there are some corrupt cops out there, because that was the main thing. Like, Samuel L. Jackson was the main antagonist, and he was a corrupt cop like the whole time, just like ruining CJ's life. So yeah, I have nothing rude to say about it, actually. You know what? That fucking
definitely not.
Golf clap, dude. Like, honestly.
Great pick too, right out the gate.
Well, that's all I got for that. Well, actually, hold on. Let me say this, dude. GTA 5 Online is full of annoying asshole griefers, and I cannot get down with that bullshit. Like, if you don't have homies who are willing, or like if you're not playing in like passive mode or like solo queuing and like online, it is an absolutely horrendous experience.
Yeah.
Like, you log in, like I logged in, went to the refrigerator in real life to grab a coffee, came back and sat down. I was like rocket launchered to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even leave for a second without someone in a suppressor or like someone in like a bulletproof car just pulling up and murdering you, bro.
That's
not fun. And talking shit on the mic the whole time.
You fucking bitch. That's the crazy thing about it, because we got back into GTA 5 online, I want to say like 2 years ago, on PC. This is a caveat. But like, we were like, oh, let's do it, because like it was like, hey man, buy GTA 5 for like $6 on Steam, and then, or GTA Online, and then get like 7 gold shark cards or whatever. Like, you came in with like $5 million or whatever. I don't know. But like, that's all the lobbies were full of, was like these motherfucking griefing troll kids with these oppressors. Like, that's the worst edition ever. Is like, I just join a lobby and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go fucking bebop down to my nightclub, and then fucking hellfire fucking rains from the sky from some motherfucker that looks like the Joker doing a cosplay riding on a flying motorcycle with missiles. Like, what the fuck? Like, you turned me off the game, which is why Red Dead Redemption 2 is so much better, because there's actually a karma system. Where like, if you're a piece of shit online, the whole lobby knows you're a piece of shit, and they're like, I'm coming for that ass motherfucker. Like,
yeah, I think that you get a bounty on you, right?
Yeah, you get a bounty. Like, well, your player icon slowly shifts like between shades of like light blue if you're like, you know, God's gift to fucking Red Dead 2, and then like dark red to being like, this is fucking Wyatt Earp and fucking Billy the Kid. Go murder that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice because it keeps people in check. Because if you want to go off on that weird psychotic tangent in Red Dead Online, like, how long can you last, man? We'll see how it happens.
Yeah, GTA Online is super toxic. I always used to solo queue up on it, but when it first came out, and like,
yeah, it was
like,
cool.
It was fun. Me, Donovan, and Luis, like we would. I remember going into, like, you could get the apartment in the high rise.
Yeah.
And then we would just be sitting around taking bong rips.
Dude, just drinking shots of scotch and then passing out and dying in the lobby.
Yeah, repeatedly drinking bottles of beer.
I remember that. I remember we used to, me and Luis, and there was a thing that we did for sure, was we would make fucking laps around the map to hit up. We would go out and we were like petty thieves. Like, me and Luis would roll up in a fucking van with blacked out windows and rob all the convenience stores to save up money, because this is like pre-fucking...
That was the grind, dude.
Yeah, it was like
heist.
before heist. And we were like, we're gonna save up all this money to get this fucking sick-ass penthouse so that when heists come out, you know, next week, we were thinking, we can start them. And then, like, lo and behold, like, it was, like a year and a half or some shit when heists were like, bro, they're finally coming out. And we're like, we don't even fucking care anymore. Like, fuck.
Yeah. And I remember we went back into it, and Luis to this day still has not played Heist.
I know. I think I remember him talking about that in the group chat. We were like, yeah, man, like, you don't remember that? He was like, I never came with you guys. And I was like, oh, fuck, my bad. I guess you're not our best friend. I'm sorry. Like,
oof. Feels bad, man.
Damn, okay.
Get Apex queued with someone else. You're the third wheel or the fourth wheel.
There's GTA off the list. I knew that was gonna come.
Yeah.
I knocked out the whole franchise with that one.
Yeah, thank God.
What's next?
So I guess I'm next. I gotta bring up a game that's very near and dear to my childhood.
Bum 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 bum.
I do want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's not Sims. So Tony Hawk Underground.
There it is.
The first one. It was like, when I think about skateboarding games, this is up there. Like, this game was so pivotal for the whole Tony Hawk franchise. Like, it was when you could first get off your boards, or your board. You could walk around, you could traverse the map, you could climb like power lines and houses and all ladders and shit. You could do all sorts of crazy shit in this game. And every story level had a unique vehicle you could drive, which was sick. And like, the story, man, bro, have you never played
I remember as a Pennsylvania boy, I remember playing Underground 2 at first. Underground 1 for sure, but then Underground 2 is what I'm referencing. I remember being like, bro, I hope I can pick Bam Margera's team. And then Tony Hawk being like, hey, I want you on my team. And I was like, fuck you, Tony Hawk. I want to go be a piece of shit with Bam. And then you have like that flip over, I think, throughout the story where like I think you're in Spain, I want to say, Underground 2.
Yeah, you end up in Spain and stuff.
And you
that's 2. That one
yeah,
involves like the two teams and stuff. But with 1, like it was like you're this kid from New Jersey.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, like you started in New Jersey, which I was like, boo, like.
Yeah, you start out in New Jersey and like you end up like you're skating in New Jersey and Chad Muska pulls up on you. He's driving a fucking white Escalade. He's like, yo, here's my board, bro. Like, and then you're like, whoa, it's Chad Muska.
Here's my board, bro. Go grind those natural gas lines and blow them up so that we can get through. Yeah, I remember that. What the fuck was? What was the? It was like Pokemon. It was like the Pokemon trainer, and then you having your rival. It was you. Unless it's Underground 2 again. I think it was new. It was Underground 1. I think his name was like Eric or something. But you had like a rival or some shit, and he was like a fucking. You guys suck at skating. I'm like, fuck you, dude. You come do this shit. Like.
Well, actually, so the whole story. This is why I like the story of Underground, because you and your friend Eric Sparrow, you start out your boys.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And you guys like skate together. And he like films and stuff, and then, you know, you kind of start getting noticed because you're good, and then eventually. You both end up in Hawaii, right?
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, and there's these 2 like skyscraper like hotel buildings, and you ramp off of one side to the other side. You Mick twist
over a helicopter.
Yeah, you Mick twist over a helicopter. He films it, and then he takes the footage and says he did the trick.
Yeah,
and it's a whole plot twist.
I remember that.
You're like, Eric Sparrow, you fucking bitch. Like,
wasn't oh my god, wasn't Kiss in that game?
Yeah, so
Kiss like played the last fucking it was like a Kiss concert. Like
the last level of this game was a Kiss concert in the middle of the desert, and you're just skating around, and Kiss is playing a show.
Yeah, it was like it's like Detroit Rock City's rocking in the background. You're doing fucking like banks over the crowd and shit. I remember that.
It's so ridiculous. Like the more you mention about this game, you end up in Moscow and you're grinding tanks. Like
I remember that too. That's kind of funny that plays another real life scenario, but I guess.
And then there's Tampa, which had Tampa Am, which was cool. And then there's like a little club, and then you go to the back of the club, and there's a cop standing behind this goat, like right behind the goat's ass, like he's having sex with the goat, and it was just like,
yep, I remember that.
This game was weird. That was crazy.
You're unlocking memories in my brain that were when I was, I think 10 to like 14, like burned into my brain. Like I would never forget these things, and I forgot them over these years. And you brought them back up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what was my childhood?
Then yeah, this game was just it pushed the boundaries for not only skateboarding games, but
it introduced, I don't want to say introduced, but like it made skateboarding like a forerunner for like extreme sports, because everybody played Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and like all like shithead kids in their basement, and I'm referencing myself, like me and Taylor of all people, me and Tots were playing fucking Pro Skater 1 in the fucking basement on a PlayStation 1 listening to Dead Kennedys. But like it created this entire subculture because it almost because it was mainstream, because it was a game, like the industry made it. People were like, maybe it's okay to be a skate rat or whatever. But like you brought up Tampa Am, which I had never heard of as a kid until I think I played Underground.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I was like, oh wait, people like skateboard for competition, like in competitions for like money, like that's a thing. Like skateboarding is not just like me out there like trying to do an ollie with my friends. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And like it was cool because it opened up like so many doors. Not for me personally, I'm not a fucking professional skateboarder, but for a lot of people. But also just brought skateboarding to the light, which is why I think now, and this is a domino effect, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and Underground were the beginning dominoes that made pro skateboarding a Olympic sport to this day. And I'm going to throw that out there, and you're not going to be able to fight me on it because I'm retiring from that argument, so therefore I'm 1-0. What do you mean?
100%. I mean, Tony Hawk, first of all, as a person, and then also as a video game franchise, is the reason that shit is in the Olympics. Like, that man helped push the whole sport and video game, like. But I love this game because it's the first Tony Hawk game that really had like personality. It had the story. It had spray painting.
The personality came from the fact that you weren't just like Pro Skater 1, you weren't locked to your board in a warehouse, like doing a gap over the half pipe. Like there was like, hey man, you have a story. Like, what's your name? Oh, cool. You're John Smith. You're from New Jersey, bro. And I'm like, well, fuck, that sucks. But they're like, hey man, you want to be a pro skater eventually? Yeah, absolutely. Go prove it. Go tell me how good you are. So
I mean, this game had whole side quests and everything. It was great. It was the first Tony Hawk where you actually go to a character, talk to them, they give you a goal, you do it. Like,
yeah, you said RPG elements, which is 1,000% right. It was a fucking skateboard. It was a skateboarding RPG, and was fucking way ahead of its time because that's like a precursor to Skate. Because Skate was the same way, where you would go talk to people and be like, "Hey, bro, what's his name? Ferda? I'm Ferda, bro. I'm gonna film you," and you're like, "All right, like, I'm gonna get you getting this grind, or go drop into Danny Way's Mega Ramp," and you're like, I'm
gonna have to call you out because it's Retta, but
what'd I say? Ferda.
Ferda?
Retta. I was close.
I respect Retta like that.
I think those games are also like a huge precursor or like a stepping stone into a lot of games, emphasizing how important having a great soundtrack is. Like those early games like Tony Hawk, Dave Mirra, Freestyle BMX really had such amazing soundtracks that like spanned multiple genres. That like when I say like games that made me, like, you know, I'm a musician, I do like this art shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally got like half my personality from like these songs that I heard in these Tony Hawk video games. Like even to this day I still play like that Superman song from like I think the first Tony Hawk. I was just listening to that shit.
100%.
I love all those songs to this day. 100%. Like those soundtracks hold up even in 2022.
It's such a. I'm a big advocate for like, and I'll talk about it in Elden Ring because it's something I want to bring up when it comes to soundtrack for a specific thing, which I don't know if you guys have encountered. But when it comes to like soundtracks in video games, like you're 1,000% right. Like even with like movies or films, like music makes so much of a difference that nobody really fully appreciates, I feel. And like, well, that's what I was saying, like playing Tony Hawk 1 or Pro Skater 1 in like my buddy's basement when we were like 12. I had never fucking heard of who the Dead Kennedys were, and like listening to that I was like, oh, this is cool. Introduced me to an entire like subculture of like punk music, and I was like, wait, it's okay to hate the government sometimes? What do you mean? But like that wasn't the thing. It wasn't genre locked to being like that whole like, oh bro, we're surfer dudes or we're white kids skating, because there was a lot of like R&B, there was a lot of like hardcore rap. Like I think Nas was, or Lil Nas was, not Lil Nas, Jesus Christ. NAS, NAS was on the soundtrack a couple times.
Real quick, one of my main points about Underground was this was the first time I heard The World Is Yours by Nas, and I loved that song.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That shit.
It was so good. I think, I forget what, Cut Chemist was another one. It introduced me to just like no lyrical beats, or like lyricless beats, like like a precursor to lo-fi, where it's just like, hey man, we're gonna play some music, and then how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of it? Oh, it's just music. There's no lyrics. Okay. Like Cut Chemist playing his, like, I think it was more of a precursor to EDM / like Skrillex stuff, but it was like, it was straight up beats. Like there was no lyrics involved. It's insane. Yeah. How much like music affects video games, but also like how Tony Hawk influenced the fact that these dudes at Activision, when it was good, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Like almost, I'm gonna say like had such a diverse team that like handpicked these tracks because they might have been skateboarders, you know, like.
Well, Tony Hawk, I know specifically for like a lot of the punk stuff, that was all Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk is the one that loves that punk shit, so he's the reason that stuff was on there.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, he's like the fucking grandfather of skateboarding, along with Rodney Mullen and everybody, and they grew up in fucking Venice Beach doing their whole, like, skateboarding before it was skateboarding thing, where they're like, I'm gonna ride around and do a circle, and people are gonna clap for me, and I'm gonna get sponsorships and shit. So, like, being involved in that entire development of a social hierarchy / social subculture is fucking insane to me. That man's still around kicking, has a couple kids, and he's like, hey man, skateboarding's cool, and his kids are like, fuck yeah it is, dad. Like,
yeah, no dude, Tony Hawk's kid Riley, that dude rips. He's insane. But yeah, we've been running about Tony Hawk. So Donovan,
yes,
what about
I'm gonna get into my game. I'm gonna address the Twitch chat from our buddy Hunter. I said Activision. What I actually meant was Neversoft, which was a subsidiary of Activision. Fuck Activision. Well, I meant Neversoft.
It was published by Activision.
Yeah, but Neversoft in general, the studio. So everything I said about Activision handpicking stuff, I meant Neversoft. But my game, and now that my sister's here in the chat, I'm glad I waited for this because I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And I don't know how you guys both feel about it. I know how your wife might feel about it, William. But one of the biggest games that had a huge impact on me was fucking Animal Crossing. And I know it might sound wild and outlandish, right?
No, of course not. No, I have no ties to Animal Crossing, though.
Well, I'm even if it does, I'm gonna tell you what, I don't give a shit. So like,
no, that's fine.
The first Animal Crossing that I ever played was straight up like 2002 on the fucking GameCube, where like Mr. Rossetti the mole would come up and be like, "Why the fuck did you reset your console?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm just trying to pay off my loan. What the fuck?" But it was a game that introduced like the mechanic of, I don't want to say a precursor to Dark Souls, which is a wild caveat, but a game with like literally no clear-cut goal in it, where it was like a straight up a game to vibe to in 2003, because I was like, oh cool, Animal Crossing, that sounds fun. And it was something that was like, I don't want to say locked to Japan, because it wasn't, but just like it was a genre that was prominently represented in Japan. Was just like that feel-good game of like, I'm gonna play this game to hang out for a couple minutes. But the whole, if you're listening, which I hope you are, the whole premise of Animal Crossing, if you don't know, is to literally, whether it's Animal Crossing 1 all the way up to like New Horizons now, is to just straight up live, like exist within this community, either contribute, don't contribute, whatever the fuck, you know, what your deal is. But Animal Crossing 1 specifically, because it was like a game that I could decompress to as a child. Only because it's like a long game thing, right? Where you show up, you come off your train, what's his name? I forget the cat's name, and I feel really bad about it at this point, because he was a huge part of my life as a child. Was like, oh, you're going to whatever you name your town? I am too. You should go talk to Tom Nook. And that motherfucker ruined my life. Introduced me to the fact that like loans existed and APR was a thing. But yeah, like Animal Crossing introduced me to like how mortgages work, which is insane because it says a lot more. It says a lot more than like the public school system. So there's that. But it was a game that had no clear-cut goal. So you go up, you go in, you show up, and Tom Nook's like, "Hey, bro, you in a house?" And you're like, "Yeah, that sounds cool. That'd be nice to, somewhere to sleep." And he's like, "Cool, I got you one right here, bro. I got them pre-made." And he's like, "All right, by the way, you owe me like $200,000." And you're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, pay it back when you can. See ya. Don't try to leave because you owe me money." And then, like, that's it. You would show up, but it was also a game that like had like real-time development, right? Which stands true now to like New Horizons, where it's like there are in-game events based on like actual real-world things. So like there's a Christmas thing, there's holidays. Like the time is set off of whatever the game console's time is set. So if it's fucking July 4th on your GameCube and you log in, it's like, "Hey bro, you want to go shoot some fireworks? It's 4th of July, 2002."
That's what always fascinated me about Animal Crossing back in the day, because I didn't play it, but my cousin had it, and I would go over to his house and he would be playing it, and like
he on that grind, bro. Gotta get them bells.
He grinded the hell out of that game. I'd be like, how does it know like what day it is? Like I just did not understand that concept.
Didn't understand the concept of like a Raspberry Pi with a calendar program, like.
Yeah. But like to me, like a kid, I was like, man, it's so crazy that they know like holidays and stuff, like when it's happening. I get it now,
but so like also too, because this goes back to like deep into our childhoods, our shared childhoods. Animal Crossing was a game that got introduced to me when like we were children. Like I knew who you and all of our friends were, like you, Raymond, everybody. But it was like we weren't really like, I don't want to say vibing, but like we weren't really booming as a friend group, so to speak. So like. The reason I feel like it took off so wildly in Japan is because it's the same reason that mukbang takes off in like Korea, is of like it was social interaction without social interaction. It was a Tamagotchi that you could play in real time. Like, it was animals that, or neighbors, so to speak, that you ended up becoming, I don't want to say infatuated with, but I guess sure. But like, they became people that you cared about. We're like, oh, what's up? What's Roger's problem? Oh, you need a fish? I'll go get you a carp, bro. Don't worry about it. You know, like, it was you developed these online friends, but they weren't online. Like, you developed relationships with these characters, which is insane to me because, like, I cared about a fucking cat that was bipedal and walked on two legs. It was like, bro, I need her to be my friend. Like, if she doesn't like me, like, what's the point of living, you know? Like, and that was at like 11 years old or some shit. So, but no, I think Animal Crossing is one of the biggest influencers in like where I get playstyles from, because it was also kind of like a base builder to me, because you had the option to decorate your house. And
liked about that game, I was like, oh man, I love
yeah, like
houses.
We were talking about fucking Habbo in the group chat, like, you know, I guess like personal chat or whatever, but like that's the same thing. I was like, oh, I want to decorate this shit, which maybe I should take up a degree in like home economics or like home design, because like it just feels good. It feels good to like have a space and like be like, this is mine. I will put my things down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. X, have you ever played Animal Crossing or no?
I have not played the game, but
any of them?
No, none of them. So like, here's what happened, dude. So when the pandemic jumped off, like when COVID first like showed up, I tried to cop a Nintendo Switch because my roommate at the time was playing Animal Crossing and he was just going crazy, dude. Like, he made it look like it was so much fun. Like, people were coming over our house, they were like going to each other's islands. I was like, dog, like, what the fuck? Like, I want to do that, but like, the market for consoles at the time was just terrible, dude. Like, I think Nintendo Switches were all sold out, and like I could only get one for like 3 times the price. I got one for a decent price, but I can identify entirely with your like what you're saying, because my wife, like, I bought Animal Crossing because I bought a Switch, and it's the second time in my life. We were living in El Paso when COVID kicked off. When it was before that, like, the Switch came out in I think 2017, or 2018, I don't know, I remember. Mm-hmm. I had to drive all the fucking way from El Paso to New Mexico, like almost close to like the capital, and like to buy one off a dude on Craigslist. Like, it wasn't a markup. He was like, hey, we bought it. I don't know why I bought it, but it was the Legend of Zelda one, which you can see behind me if you're on Twitch, this big box. That's what my Switch came in with, like the Legend of Zelda Special Edition, Breath of the Wild. But I drove all the way to fucking New Mexico to get it. Now, my wife, when Animal Crossing comes out, because the fucking pandemic is kicked off, is like, I'm playing it, vibing, living my life, being like, yeah, this is fun, you know, I'm living my childhood. She's like, hey, I want to play Animal Crossing too, and I was like, okay, that's fine, because like it was right when the Switch Lite launched, so it was whatever. But I'm like, all right, we'll look around, because, you know, the pandemic's a big thing, but like every store has like that, you know, curbside pickup, whatever. Well, I'll get you a Switch. Not a fucking single one to be found in like the Tri-County area at all. Same thing. I have to drive to New Mexico to a Walmart to go fucking pick up this guy, or a Target in New Mexico to get this fucking Switch. So I'm driving through the desert being like, I swear to God, if like she plays this for 2 days and doesn't want to do it, I'm gonna punch her right in the mouth. Like,
well, that was the whole thing, like, that was happening in the industry, because Animal Crossing New Horizons came out in March, right when everyone was going into lockdown, so everyone was playing it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, I need a Switch, because everyone's playing this game, and I want to talk to people and socialize. So, like, everyone was trying to get a Switch. Everyone was trying to get Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing has sold, like, over 30 million copies. It's, like, top 3 most sold Nintendo game. Like, it's insane. And it's honestly because of the pandemic. It hit right at the right time.
COVID, like, it sounds crazy to attribute like its sales to COVID, but like it was honestly exactly what we needed at that time, because everyone was in lockdown. Like, I came out of the field. Actually, I remember I was on a training exercise when COVID like became big in like the end of March, and they pulled us out. But like the whole time I was in the field, I hotspotted my phone to download like the 12 gigs or whatever Animal Crossing New Horizons was. And like, I was like, I'll fucking make up for the lost time. I don't care, whatever. I'm playing it. So I'm playing it in the field, because I always bring my Switch to like a training situation. When we're not doing anything, I'll just like, you know, whatever I'm doing, I'll play a Switch game. So I'm sitting in this giant like tank tow truck, an 88, just playing Animal Crossing. And it was right before it was right when it came out. So I'm like over on this fucking super undeveloped island, like just hitting rocks and shit. And I was like, this is the fucking greatest time of my life. I don't care.
That's how it is. Yeah, my wife got super
she's blowing the chat up. I know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Also, I like that she said Pocket Camp Poop. Yeah,
bro,
Pocket Camp.
I straight up downloaded Pocket Camp when I was like, Animal Crossing game? What? When? And I played it and I was like, this is just a fucking shitty mobile game. How dare you, Nintendo? What the fuck?
Yeah. So X, your turn.
Go for it. Let it rip.
Bro, I'm gonna have to say RuneScape, dog.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to say.
What a fucking call out. Holy shit.
Oh.
I went to go pee and I heard RuneScape and I ran back down because I wanted to fucking hear that sea shanty.
I was wondering if someone was gonna bring up RuneScape.
I played that game so hard, bro. That was like the first game I ever had a monthly subscription to. I think it was like $5 or some shit at the time, but like I totally begged my mom for a subscription to RuneScape once they dropped that shit as an option. Yeah, man, like I played that game super hard. I love PKing in the wilderness. Like I became a troll playing RuneScape. Like it really like it unlocked a part of myself I didn't know existed, and it was a troll. Like I realized at that point in time, like I was a troll and that I was just gonna live that as like my reality, dude. Like I would people kill in the woods. I would find people who were trying to drop trade armor because you couldn't like trade from account to account unless you had two computers. And I would like steal their drops. Like I remember like my biggest highlight of playing RuneScape was I caught someone in, what was it fucking called? Oh God, I forgot the names of like all of the major cities, but like in one of the major cities behind a church, dropping a full set of
Falador,
yes,
fucking, yep.
I think it was Falador. Dropping a full set of rune armor and like a rune two-handed sword, and like they logged off as soon as it dropped. You know, it takes a second for that shit to pop up if you drop it.
Yeah.
And like the items just appear on my screen, dude. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? And I just run, I just pick it all up.
You start grabbing it, you're like, yo, I'm not letting this fucking game get me.
And then a dude logs in and he's like, dude.
Bro, please drop it, please, bro.
He said, please give me my armor back, bro. He said, yo, please give me my armor back. And bruh, like such a moral. I feel like every piece of like bad luck and bad karma that's ever happened in my life
from you stealing that man's things.
Moment, bro. Because like I looked at this dude, I requested a trade with him. I was gonna give it back. I'm putting like all the shit in the thing. He can see. He's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much."
And then you cancel that shit.
And then I canceled that shit and logged out of the server, bro.
What I love about RuneScape, I never got really into it. My brother did, Donovan did. I know that.
Goddamn right. Like, I remember
I hear people talk about RuneScape, it's always about scamming people.
Yes, I remember
one-upping people. I'm like, what the fuck is?
So I'm gonna attribute. I want to say your brother and one of our friends, because I remember this is like a weird memory that I have, like the most vivid fucking recollection of, is I remember walking the halls of fucking Shiloh Middle School. All right, like fucking stay with me. Shiloh Middle School, and like your brother and one of our fucking high school friends, Omar Gonzalez, I forget that dude's Omar. We're talking, and like I was like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" Like me and my fucking dumbass backpack walking up, right? And like we started talking about RuneScape, and they're like, "Oh, we're in the sand level, like we're in the desert. You wouldn't be there, Donovan, because you don't play." And I was like, "All right, motherfuckers, like, how dare you?" And like Raymond and Omar lit this fucking fire in my ass. I was like, "All right, bitch, I'm gonna play this fucking game." And I'm gonna fucking get to the sand place, because like I had never at that point played RuneScape, because I was like, what is this? What the fuck? Because one of our, if you remember, William, too, like this is like delving back into the deep fucking Trotters Walk Trail fucking tales. Do you remember Eric?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember going to his house to play Halo 3 for like a big sleepover for everybody? And like,
I don't remember that. No, I was.
It might have been me, Raymond, and Victor. I want to say.
I probably wasn't there.
Yeah, you might. But like, we were all playing Halo 3, and his dad, like, they were super Christian. So his dad was like, "Are you guys gonna play this gosh darn game, or am I gonna listen to this choir music?" And his brother, I think his brother's name was John, but his brother John was playing RuneScape, and I was like, what's up, man? Like, because I always would, I would just talk to everybody. Like, I'd be like, what are you doing? Everybody else is like fucking teabagging each other in the living room, and I'm like over here talking to his brother about RuneScape. And he's like, oh, I'm telling people that I'm trimming armor for free, but they're gonna drop it for me, and I'm gonna take it. And I was like, it's kind of fucked up, man.
Oh, that's the way to go.
Free gem cutting, like, type of shit,
But
but
duping items,
yeah,
free dupes.
exactly. Like, so, like, you're 1,000% right. Like, RuneScape taught us how to essentially be like real life con men. Like, honestly,
Yeah, y'all
like,
are just disgusting.
Listen,
like, we
RuneScape
were out there
invented
fucking-
PvP fraud.
it did, because you could be like, if you were a RuneScape scammer, and you're not one of the three of us right now, you're probably asking old ladies for Google Play gift cards.
Yeah, you're cracking credit cards or some shit like that. Like if you're a RuneScape scammer back in the day, you are an absolute piece of shit and scum to the earth.
You're
currently.
using an RFID scanner to fucking pick up dudes' credit cards at like a 7-Eleven when they buy a monster. Like,
Yeah, but like also like I'm glad you brought up armor trimming because like bruh, like rune armor with the red trim. Like who are you talking to, bro?
You don't don't talk to me, you fucking peasant. I've got rune armor with red trim with a.
Bro,
I think
like,
it was gem trim, so it'd be like rune armor with like a ruby trim. So like you were one of the fucking Kardashians at that point, like.
bro, that was like one of the first online games that introduced me to what I call like fashion wars, and I get that term from Guild Wars. Like they call it like any sort of like but yeah, like just pulling up in like a black set of armor with the gold trim, even though the black armor kind of sucked, but it looked so clean.
It didn't matter. It was fucking, the drip was on point, and it doesn't matter.
Love that shit. Like also like selling lobster certificates, like selling bananas to people, like all this shit. Like,
bro,
RuneScape taught me how to hustle, how to scam.
Hitting that 30 GP boat to Karamja to fish them lobbies.
Easy, bro.
Easy.
Lobby
All
search
day.
10K,
All day, motherfucker. That's where the grind started. The grind don't stop in our adult lives, but the grind started fishing lobbies.
Bro, you remember like the colorful text, wavy text going into the bank and everyone just spamming
You'd
like
have
the
dudes,
most horrendous fonts on earth?
Yeah, so like it was before what was it called? It was like, oh my god, the Grand Market or whatever the fuck it was called. I can't remember what it was called. But people would be like outside the bank and Varrock being like selling rune armor, and it would like the fucking text would like wave like this, and it would like flash like selling lobbies 30 GP.
What is this, bro? Yeah, RuneScape is great, bro. Super great game. Like, I'm pretty sure they're still doing shit to this day. But
yeah, to address
RuneScape Classic, dude.
There's RuneScape Classic, but to address the fact that like RuneScape 3.0 came out, and that was a thing that happened where it became like a WoW subsidiary, where you could play it and it looked like WoW, like it was like updated graphics and stuff. But my sister brought it up, and it was funny because I forgot this was a thing. My fucking mom, of all people, played fucking RuneScape.
Dude, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that? I'm gonna fucking learn you, motherfucker. My mom, no, it was like, I was like 18 or 19. She was like, hey, Bubby, because that's what my mom called me. Hey, Bubby, have you heard about RuneScape? And I was like, I'd be like 20. I'm like, what the fuck did you say to me, Mom? She's like, yeah, RuneScape. It's this thing. It's like this new thing online. I was like, don't fucking cite the deep fucking magics to me, Mom. Like, that shit's been around since 2006. She was like, oh, it's really cool. You should come play it. And like, my mom, I had this. It was like this weird thing where I was like, can I reconnect with my mother through RuneScape? So I started playing RuneScape again, and like 2012, I want to say, because I was like, this is a connection that we've never had before, and I don't want to lose this connection.
That's incredible.
No, yeah, old Jenny Sable played fucking RuneScape. She's out there fishing lobbies in Karamja, and I was like, how do you know what that means?
Shout outs to Jagex, man.
The Grand Exchange, that was what it was called. Thank you, chat.
Well, is that it? Y'all got anything else from RuneScape?
I mean, just PvPing people like in town, requesting PvP, and just getting my ass kicked a lot until I figured out that I'm not built for that shit, and ganking is the way. That's pretty much it, dude.
Buying GF 10 GP, like.
All I remember is I played it very briefly, but I remember going to a church and I stole like this golden chalice and I got chased down and killed. So
Zamrock, you went to like the church
You
of
went
Zamrock.
to Church Zamrock.
I was like, yo, look at this dope gold cup. I'm gonna take
Fucked
that.
around and found out.
Yeah,
Goddamn
I
right he
really
did.
We can move on from RuneScape, man.
Yeah.
I just want to. I had to like give RuneScape its flowers because
you gotta give it. Yeah, like it's like Miss America. You gotta hand the fucking bouquet of roses off the RuneScape to introducing me into online MMORPGs.
Yes, sir.
So hold on. X is like, oh, okay, never mind.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Yeah. Okay.
It like popped in and out. Yeah, I saw it. Like I was trying to get everybody to vibe out and like do the thing while I was like working my magic behind the scenes.
Nice.
Okay, so another game for me. Gonna have to bring it up, Donovan. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
We gotta talk about it.
Super.
Fucking Sims, man.
Shabablana do Parnar?
The Sims. I mean, it's hard to like point to one game in that franchise that I love.
Sims 2
Dude.
busting out?
Busting out, Sims 2, Sims 1, all of them. Like there's so many great things about all of them. Sims do fucking herbs, man. They have the Black Eyed Peas in that game. Are you kidding me?
We blana dana nupa.
That shit was crazy.
It was
like, wow,
it was
licensed
vibing.
music.
I forgot that the herbs existed. Like I thought that was like a DLC of busting out, but I forgot that was a thing.
That was this whole thing, dude.
Man, what I love
Coincidentally, a GameCube game actually.
what I loved about the herbs is like it's because it's like super urban. So like you start out
Get out of
in
town.
in this high-rise apartment,
Yep.
and like I remember getting like a bulldog, and I have like
Nice.
this little bulldog, and then I remember there's a half pipe you can go down to, and of course I loved that shit. Like, and you could get your sim to skate. Like that was great. It was amazing. But what I love about The Sims though is like there's so many different ways like people play that game. It's insane. Like some people just go into that game and just build houses.
They like so I remember one of the things I forget the name of the class, but like also back to going to high school in Georgia, there was like I don't want to say tech ed class, but I think it was tech ed, but it was like a computer class where like my mom, like when we went through the like orientation or the shit you did when you were like ninth graders, my mom met my teacher for it, and we started talking because like they're like, yeah, he plays The Sims a lot and like he's into architectural design. And I was like, first of all, Mom, how fucking dare you? But yeah, I guess because that's one of my things that I would do is like I would just build houses to see if they worked. And I'm gonna throw it up on the Skype camera and the Twitch camera. Guess what artifact is sitting on my fucking shelves right now?
What is the Sims one? Yeah.
Yeah, is the fucking Sims 1, the complete collection. So,
So that's
I don't have a disk drive in this computer, so I don't even know, like, it doesn't even work on anything over Windows XP, so, but it's there, so.
I have like vivid memories of playing that in the office in your house.
Yeah, the office with a shitty carpet!
It was always so cold in there too.
But it was a garage that we turned into a room, so yeah, it was fucking freezing. There was, like, no insulation in the walls,
Yeah.
like.
But I remember, yeah, man, we went in on The Sims and Command and Conquer in there.
There was, like, no windows at all, like.
But yeah,
I remember, like, back to RuneScape, I remember playing, because we had two computers for my dad's business, so, like, it was, like, me and Taylor, we would play RuneScape, like, across from each other, like, we were in a fucking cubicle at, like, an office, like, a legitimate office, and be like, yo, where you at? You in Varrock? Alright, I'm coming, bro. Like, but we did the same thing with The Sims, where, like, both computers didn't need the disk to run it, but we had to install it, so, like, my mom's, like, computer, because my mom was, like, the secretary for the business, had her own computer, and then like the other computer had the like I guess Excel spreadsheets or whatever for like my dad's business. We'd both be playing The Sims at the same time, and we would like try to see who like built the fucking stupidest house or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I remember just playing the old Sims and just doing like straight money cheats and giving my Sims like
Rosebud exclamation point comma exclamation point comma. Yeah.
Making the most expensive shit, and like now as an adult man, like I'll turn on The Sims 4 and I'll straight up just build houses. Like it's so fun. Like it's relaxing as fuck
You know,
too.
so that was a game, The Sims 1, I guess on PC, that introduced me to the idea of DLCs because of all the expansion packs you could have. Do you fucking remember, which kind of coincides with this thing right here in my hand, this fucking goddamn artifact of the Holy Land. Do you fucking remember Sims Superstar?
Yes.
Where you can go be an actor?
Famous.
All right, yeah. So like, I'm gonna pull it up to double check for my own my own accuracy. But do you remember these celebrities, which is gonna date this conversation? Do you remember the celebrities that were involved in that?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me fucking.
Wait, they had real celebrities?
Yes, they did. There were celebrity Sims. Let me prattle them off for you right now. Avril Lavigne.
Oh my god.
Christina Aguilera.
My wife.
Andy Warhol, which would have been like, who would have been like 50, I think, at the time. But either way, Marilyn Monroe, apparently brought back from the dead, and Richie Sambora. And if you don't know,
I don't know.
You don't know who Richie Sambora is. He is the lead singer of John Bon Jovi, Bon Jovi's band that replaced Bon Jovi / guitarist. He's the guitarist for Bon Jovi who helped with like backup vocals.
What an obscure pick.
It was so fucking it was so weird. Like, why not just put Bon Jovi in the game?
Yeah, what the hell?
But they would show up because like in true Sim fashion, like Superstar had that whole like I don't want to say mentality, but like development that like you could see in ripples throughout the continuing Sims games, where like Sims would be like "tu blonde and a par" and just show up at your fucking house. Richie Sambora would like was notorious, apparently according to the wiki, to show up to your house regardless of like what squalor you fucking lived in. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm the lead guitarist and like backup vocalist for Bon Jovi. How's it going?" And you're like, "I live in a 2-room shack. How you doing?" Because that was a thing that was really big in like busting out, and then like Sims 2, Herbs 3, 4, you know, where Sims would be like, "I'm your neighbor. How's it going?" And they would show up to your house. He was like one of the first Sims that would do that and be like, "Hey man, you play guitar?" He's like, "No." And they're like, "That's cool. You should try out for Bon Jovi." Like,
okay, sure, bro.
Like that Billy Ray Cyrus conversation we had like 35 episodes ago.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You want to go play guitar for Bon Jovi? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah.
My favorite thing to do in The Sims, and the only thing that I did, because I never really actually played the game seriously, because it gave me too much freedom, was to like make death rooms, dude. Like kill my Sims in like just really ridiculous ways, like ways that like terrify me as a person. Like make a swimming pool, put a
take the ladder out, like
take the ladder out, try to cover that shit. Like I don't know, dude. Make a porta potty with no doors. Lock them in like their own filth.
You could lock them behind like a fence that was like 2 feet high, and they're like, "I can't climb it. I'm gonna. I'm so hungry." Like,
man,
that's how a lot of people play that game, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fun for like the first 2 times you do it, but then after that, it's like what?
Well, no, so like it's you do the same thing, and you're like you satiate this weird technological bloodlust you've had, and you're like, "All right, I killed my Sims. I'm gonna play the game for now." Because when you got to like 2, 3, and 4, you started getting the DLCs that like branched out from like, "Hey, you want to own a house?" to like, you know, the millennial dream, to more so like, "You want to go to college?" And you're like, "Oh yeah," because I think Sims 3 was like, there was like a university DLC or whatever.
Yeah, 4 has it too.
Yeah.
4, I have a bunch of DLCs for 4. Like I own a restaurant and stuff. I can go to like Star Wars land. And like, it's crazy. Yeah, the DLCs have always been big for The Sims. But I remember The Sims 2. I really liked The Sims 2 because that was the first one where you could build a house that was like 7 stories tall. Like it was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And they like leaned hard into aliens for some reason, and you could be an alien. I'm not really sure why they did that, but that was cool.
Hey
it
man,
was on the map.
We're all inclusive, baby.
Trying to tell you something about what's going on in the real world.
I guess so. Maxis is woke. EA's woke.
Feel that.
Maxis, nice fucking name drop. That's Jesus.
Yo, those are the devs, bro.
I know, but like, it's like Westwood Studios with actually what I'm going to talk about next.
Yeah, hold on. We should probably do one more in the Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's. I guess I'll finalize it.
Yeah.
So, Maxis, to 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon this, goes to Westwood in my mind, which are the dudes that made Command & Conquer. But one of the biggest games that made me is in the style of Command & Conquer, and I feel like you're all going to identify with it, was Age of Mythology. Real-time strategy games. Introduced me to the fact that like I could be a fucking tactical war general by learning how to type on a keyboard, because it opened up so many other avenues when it came to like Age of Mythology was the first RTS I was introduced to, and then like I was like, oh, this is a cool type of game, what do I do? And learn how to play it, and then it rolled back to like, oh, EA made some cool shit like that, what is this? Or Westwood Studios at the time. Oh, Command & Conquer, the Russians are invading? Holy fuck them, So, yeah, no, Age of Mythology was one of the biggest influencers in my life as to, like, what games I play now, I want to say. Because even to this day, like, Age of Empires, and I have Age of Mythology installed on my Steam library, in my Steam library to this day, because it runs perfectly fine on Windows 10, right? So, like, I'll find myself hopping into a dumb lobby and be like, yo, what's up, Norse Rush, motherfucker? Like, you weren't expecting a fucking 20-year vet, bitch? Like,
back, bitches.
Yeah,
but
Age of Mythology is a fantastic game. It's one of the only games like that I got super into. I didn't get as into as you guys did. I was bad at it, so I just played like easy mode.
I'm bad at it too, but it didn't help me to like that. I didn't want to like be like, yo, I'm 1600 rating. I gotta get higher. Conquest, bitch. Let's go 2v2.
I was too scared to play like online PvP like y'all. That shit was too scary.
Yeah, that's fair.
I never played Age of Empires though. I would love to play that shit.
It's legitimately speaking, it's the same exact game, but there's just no gods. Like you don't pick gods for developments. It's like, welcome to the Bronze Age, friend. Like.
I'm waiting for them to bring the new one to Xbox.
So, from what I think we talked about it a while ago, and I say a while ago, like it was like at this point like 2 years ago. I want to say somebody was talking about somewhere making Age of Mythology again or remaking Age of Mythology, and like we started fucking going bananas. Like,
the Age of Empire people, they were like, yeah, we're down to make another one or something like that, and we were like, oh my fucking god, Age of Mythology is gonna come back, because Ensemble is like dead. Like they're not a studio. They haven't been a studio forever, I think, right?
I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that, because like it's like the most ambiguous news that you can try to dig up. It's like, do they exist? And they're like, I don't know, maybe. Like,
yeah. Good pull. Age of Mythology is good.
Never played a RTS a day in my life, but
That's
I think I'm gonna download one to my phone and play that shit in bed and watch Hulu tonight. That does sound chill. I watched there's this YouTuber, I forgot his name. It's not Modest Pelican, but there's this guy who just breaks video games, and like he comes up with the weirdest ways to break these RTS games that are like so cheap, but it's like so entertaining to watch. And like I think I'm gonna like try.
Were they like the RTS games that you'd play on your phone where it'd be like, oh, you're upgrading your town hall, come back in like 6 hours, like it was like
it's
Clash
like
of Clans,
like,
or like a straight up like I'm gonna drag and drop and then click and be like, go here. Like,
yeah, it's literally like the games you guys are talking about, like Age of Empires, Age of Mythology type shit. I think it's literally those games. Like when you said you've made it to the Bronze Age, like
yeah, like just ported to like a mobile. Which I mean, like now that we're where we're at as a society, it's not really far off, so to speak, that these RTS games are portable, because it was a while ago. It was like 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say, but like they had like the Razer GX or whatever, and it was like ported to be like the gaming phone or whatever. And like people were playing like Age of Empires like 2 or some shit, like a fucking game from like 2006 or 7 or whatever, but like on their phone, and people were like, holy fuck, that's groundbreaking. When like if you think about it, like I could play fucking Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 on a goddamn microwave if I fucking tried hard enough. Like, it's not that hard. It's not demanding. It's more hard, or it's harder to play those games on current fucking technology because the game's like, are you trying to run malware right now? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to play a game from like 1997. They're like, oh, we don't do that around here. Like, that's it. Like, I had to download so many extensions when I bought the Command and Conquer Legacy Pack, which is big shout out to them with the RTS thing. I bought the Command and Conquer Legacy Pack because I wanted to play Red Alert 1, 2, and then Yuri's Revenge on PC. But like, you have to download this whole separate launcher to launch it on Windows 10 because it's like, I don't recognize that program. I'm like, it's a fucking executable file. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. And it's like, nah, bro, we don't do that around here. It's the same thing with like the Fallout 3 port, which got fixed, thankfully, like 5 years ago. But the Fallout 3 port for Windows on Steam like would not work because Windows is like, what the fuck are you trying to do? And I'm like, play a game. And it's like, that's not real. It's not a real file. We're gonna not, like, it's not gonna happen. Like,
yeah, and that's tragic.
Shout outs to
it was.
Like our technology nowadays, like, you know, like I checked the App Store and you can like buy Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, dude, you can play these fucking
action.
All the way up to 6. I want to say that the pixel art like remakes, like Square Enix ported them to mobile, and you can just play Final Fantasy 6 on your fucking phone while you're taking a shit, which is insane to me. Like,
it's crazy what you can play on your phone these days.
What a time to be alive, dude. Honestly.
GTA, you can download GTA Vice City and sync a controller up to your phone and just play the whole game.
Yeah, because that's like a big market too, is those like Bluetooth like plug-in controllers that you just hold it like a Switch.
I mean, you could link your PS4.
PS4, yeah, that's another thing.
Games. It's crazy. It's amazing.
The Bluetooth.
Yeah, for real. Bluetooth, game changer.
Again, what a time to be alive, dude. Like,
game that made us, Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, honestly. We went from Bluetooth back in the day in like 2008, like sharing dumbass pictures on fucking flip phones to fucking syncing PlayStation 4 controllers to a goddamn iPad to play fucking Forza. Like,
yeah.
And there's like still vibration controls somehow. You're like, how does the game know this? Like,
so is that it on Agent of the
yeah, no, I might. No, I'm gonna play Elden Ring after this either way, but like, I might play Age of Mythology this week, honestly.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
You died.
You know, I was gonna say, you know who I want to hear from the most right now is fucking my boy LOWMESA. Yeah. How do you feel? Lay it on me.
You have to tell us your story about fucking Elden Ring.
Yeah. Right. Tell us your tale, weary. What are they called? You're not. Oh my god.
Tarnished.
Tell us your tale, weary tarnished. Like,
dude, so like I buy this game like a day after it launches, right? I'm super hyped. Like I've been watching YouTube videos. Like I've probably like digested 10 hours of straight up extra life content and like whoever the fuck else is dropping hot content. I'm ready. I got the Reddit. I subscribe to the Reddit. I'm leaving comments.
I'll tell you who's launching hot content is fucking this guy right here. So
you already know the vibes, man. So like I think I'm ready to play. I make my class. I'm a confessor. Go through the tutorial. Of course, I get one shot by the fucking tutorial boss.
Oh yeah, because like, fuck you, you know. Like...
Yeah, because why even have a good time the second I turn on the game? Then I get through the tutorial boss. And the first thing I see is the tree sandal, bro. Like, like right in this area where I'm chilling at right now. Like I'm on a park bench next to him.
Right where you're live reporting from. He's behind you, you know.
Yeah, and he fucking drops me, bro. Like I run up on him, just get dropped. I'm like, yo, like I've never played a Souls-like game. Like I played Dark Souls 3, but not really. Like I didn't like play it on my own volition. I played it on someone else's console. Yeah, I just get dropped, bro. And I'm like, fuck, bro. I can't beat this guy. I'm doing no damage. And like it's disheartening. Like it kind of fucked up my spirits. And like all the information that I digested all the way up to that point, it just completely goes out the window. Like I don't even bother going to get my horse. I don't even bother going to like get my staff. I know where like all these things are, but like I'm just sitting here thinking, why is this game so fucking difficult the second I turn it on? And what is a horse gonna even fucking do for me? What is this helmet gonna do? What are these amulets gonna do when everything is literally just gonna one-shot me, bro? Like it doesn't even matter. So I think at this point in time, like I had 2 hours of gameplay. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let me explore a little bit more. I go to the cave that's right next to the tree sentinel. There's another mini, like the cave with all the
I
wolves.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and there's like the Beastmaster boss, I think, is what he's
this
called.
beast-
Yep.
I go through the veil. I'm like, all right, like at least I can kill this little piece of shit guy with this bullshit ass sword. And he just starts going ham, bro. He is swinging this.
He starts
fucking
doing
sword.
the fucking
He's doing all
twirl
the
and
cool
shit. Yeah.
And he just murks me like 2 shots. I'm dead. And I'm just like, you know what, bro? Maybe I'm gonna make a new character, try like something else, because this like melee bullshit isn't working for me. Like it's just not me. You know, I make a new character. You know, they give you like an option to pick like a golden seed, a stone ward key, like these starting items. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get that key because I recognized a dungeon in this tutorial area, so I get the key.
That's I know what you're
Mistake
talking
number
about.
3,
Mom,
bro.
number 3.
Mistake number
That's
3.
that's the nail in the coffin, dude.
I get this key, and like, first of all, you go down the ladder instantly in a pool of poison. Instantly poison. Like, oh my fucking god! Run out of the poison. Try like, what is it? Run out of the poison into like this cement area. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on dry land. I start walking. Boom! Murdered by a cart. Cart comes out of fucking
I was gonna
nowhere.
say, you want to talk about the fucking goddamn like death fucking go karts that roll up that motherfucker? Because
That shit
holy
just
shit!
annihilated.
I walked down that and I was like, oh cool, it's just a a ramp, and then I hear like, nah! Like I was like, what the fuck do I do? And I got like smacked. No, yeah, don't go down there. I'm gonna throw that
Don't
out
do
there.
it.
Just don't do it.
Here's
Just
the
wait.
kicker. Here's what actually made me quit the game. So like after fucking around with that cart, like I'm figuring out what the cart does. It comes up, it turns around, it goes back down. You know, I encounter an enemy or two like in the path of trying to get down this like pathway. I die, of course, and like I'm coming back, I'm waiting for the cart to pass me so I can like run out. But like as the cart's turning around, it clips through the wall and it kills me.
No.
And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, bro, for a game to be this difficult and to still have like enemies clip through the wall and kill you, like it just seems so unfair, bro. Like the game is already incredibly hard, and to be killed by like glitchy bullshit like that, final straw, bro. Oh my, I uninstalled that shit instantly. I like hit up Sony. I hit up Sony that instant. And I was like, bro, give me my fucking money back. Like, give me my money back. I'm not playing this game. Like, I gave this dude a whole. I lied. Like, I lied to get my money back because they do not do refunds. I think I told him like, oh, I meant to buy the special edition, bro. Like, please, man.
That's
blah,
so
blah, blah.
that's one thing that I saw that was fucking insane to me is like all these dudes did these pre-orders or whatever. All these peeps did these like pre-orders for the like Elden Ring special edition that came with like the statue and shit. And like they got like the wrong copy in the mail. It was like a PS5 copy, and they pre-ordered on PS4. And GameStop was like, I don't know, sorry. Like,
Jeez.
Bro, I'd be so mad.
honestly.
They gave me my money back, bro. And then like I hit up Will, and I'm like, man, I just like.
I know, I saw the text, but go ahead. Like,
Yeah, I sent him a screenshot.
Oh yeah, I sent him like walls of text, like why the game sucks, bro. I'm just
bro,
going off.
I was reading fucking War and Peace over there. Like it was a fucking 800-page novel. I was like, X is
so
not
much to say.
feeling this shit, man. Like,
I'm over here like, man, I love this game so much, and then X is like, this game fucking sucks. Fuck this game. I'm like, bro, like I'm having fun.
Yeah, and like that pissed me off more. I'm like, how are you having fun, bro? How do you not feel the same anger that I feel? Like, relate to me right now.
why are you enjoying this, you fucking idiot? Like, what?
But then he's like, oh man, I can't believe you're gone. Like we could have killed bosses together, all this shit. I'm like, yo, why don't you just run it with Donovan, bro? Like I'm not trying to play this shit. And he's like, oh, it's not cross-platform.
And then Japan decided to fuck us and not make it cross-platform.
Oh, and then like I just felt bad at that point. I was like, oh, I can't just leave this dude out here in this bullshit ass world solo dolo, dog. Like I gotta come back. So I bought the game like the next day. Like I should have just kept it and not raged so hard. But like, yeah, I bought the game. I'm back in this bitch. Level 17, astrologer, big magic. I got all my weapons, got my fucking horse. I can summon things. Like I get it. Like I've killed an invader. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing big things.
Oh, you got like a player invader?
Nah, it's like the invader at the round.
Yeah, they got the MP. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that fuck that dude. Holy shit, that motherfucker. Like that that NPC at the round table made me like, oh, you know what? Sorcery is not that bad. All right, motherfuckers, check it out. Like, I'm gonna go get a staff.
Oh, that's when you switched?
Yeah, I was like, I'm dueling right now. Like, I'm going samurai into like sorcery, like a fucking samurai wizard, whatever. Because I'll do a summon on a boss, and then like I have one mana flask to like replenish, and then like while the fucking the ash is out there doing its work, I'm gonna start casting these dumbass spells, and when that's gone, I'm like, all right, back to the katana and the shield, like. But like motherfucking OP build, early game to like, I want to say mid game, but I've only cleared like 2 main story bosses, so probably not.
How many hours are you in, Donovan?
I'm at 21 hours, and I've killed 2 cutscene bosses, so 2 main bosses.
That's crazy.
Like, so
it's
you're
fucking
saying
insane.
As far as progression, or mid game?
Mid game
like
as far as level. As far as progression, I am fucking 54.
Hey, you're pretty up
So
there, yeah.
I'm pretty up there, and I'll tell you why. Because here's an exploit, and it's not really an exploit so much as like just start swinging at shit. In Kaled, Will actually, and maybe X, the shitty red like area where you go, you know, where like all these mushroom heads are like attacking you and shit. If you go like northeast, right on the map, you start rolling down that street, you'll come to a fucking dragon that is like gargantuan in size. Like this homeboy is like, yeah, the sleeping dragon. This homeboy is like hurt. He's fucked up. He's just like, bro, I'm trying to take a nap. What you do is, even if you're not proficient, right, you find a weapon with blood or blood buildup, because blood buildup scales per percentage of health, not your level, right? So this fucking dragon has like 265,000 HP, but what you do is you take katana, you start fucking hacking away. When bloodlust builds up, it takes out like 15,000 HP because
Have so much health.
yeah, it starts to chunk away. This fucking dragon, what you do, and it's cheese, but I mean, welcome to Dark Souls. You pop a golden talon if you have one. If not, figure out how to make one because I don't remember what it is. But it boosts rune acquisition over a course of like 10 minutes. So what you do is you fuck this dragon up to the point where he's about to die. You eat this talon, and then you give him the blow. It gives you 100,000 runes off the rip. I went from fucking 25 to like 40 in like 7 seconds.
And on top of that, for even more cheese, you can load in co-op with your homie and kill that shit again.
Yes, sir.
True.
Doing it over and over again, bro.
Because honestly,
that game's
like,
exploiting me.
The game the game exploits me. So like, don't you fucking dare, From Software. I'm gonna come back, motherfucker.
Man, I love how you guys like have all these strategies, know all this stuff. I feel like I'm
you're out there,
around.
start swinging like.
Yeah, I just find shit, and what I'll do, my strategy is I'll find stuff, and then I see an enemy, and I'll be on my horse, and I'll ride up and hit it real quick, see how much damage I do, and depending on how much damage I do, I run away or I stay and fight.
That's the game. Like you exactly. Like so, going back to like X talking about the horse sentinel. Like I was like, okay, hey, what's up, bitch? And like I swung on him, and like I did like 7 damage when I first started the game, and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah. Horse sentinel is not meant to be killed immediately.
But exactly. So like when you get watching your build the one day you streamed not too long ago, for like the first time ever, you're running a halberd. I think you're running a strength build. You need to go back and kill fucking Tree Sentinel because you get a fucking sick ass halberd from him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I
think
that's that. Yeah, you get that shit that he's fucking poking you with. So.
When I fought him, that was a long time ago. I'm level 26 now, so I probably can kill him. I haven't tried to go back.
Coming back for that ass, like.
I'm gonna say, don't. Hey man, I want to see you do that tomorrow on stream, bro.
Do it. Bring it up. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna play it again.
Another thing you can do, and I need to do this with you, Will, since you're on my console, is we can duplicate weapons, like going offline, joining each other's servers, or like doing like a bunch of funky shit.
It's not so. It's like cheese, but it's not cheese. Also, have any of you beaten Margit, the second Okay.
Haven't
Yeah.
fought him.
Fuck that dude, first of all. But to throw it out there for you guys to know, I'm assuming you guys have been to Stormville Castle. Have you gone south on the map?
Not yet.
To the
Okay.
other castle?
We went east.
Yeah, Castle Morn, I think, is the one down there. But yeah.
There's a castle in the south. that
Yeah.
I went to.
Yeah, okay. So the game, and this is me being a fucking dipshit, apparently, or like being a headstrong, egotistical motherfucker where I was like, no, fuck you, Dark Souls game, I'm gonna beat you. I went to Margit and I got my fucking dick stomped in the dirt, like not even like continuously, and I was like, no, bro, run that motherfucker back, we're doing it again, right? To the point where I hadn't beaten him until 2 days ago, right?
What level were you, though?
I was like 26 when I first started, but that was the problem, is that I was so underleveled. Because the entire lower half of the map is the lowest level portion of the game. So it's designed for you to be like, yo, fuck this, I'm going down there. But one piece of advice I will give you is focus on your flasks. Go to all the churches you find, because you're going to get Sacred Tears, you're going to get fucking Crimson Tear Flask +1, +2, +3, +4, where it heals more, but also look for the Golden Seeds, so you can get like 8 +5 flasks, right? Whether it's mana or health or whatever. But go south, because it's designed as a low-level area. If you're super low level, it sucks though. I don't know how low you were when you went down there, Bill. But there's this one boss. It's like I forget his name, but he's like a fucking like beast man, and he's like fucking doing like all kinds of crazy fucking twirls at the bottom of the castle.
I don't know if I ran into him.
Oh well, you should play tonight and run into him, because he's a fucking asshole. So there's that. But you're running a strength build because you're running a halberd, so he gives you the George R.R. Martin like Game of Thrones sword. It's like a sword that has other swords welded to it, right? Roll that shit fucking two-hand, and I promise you're gonna fucking smack the shit out of anything that is in front of you.
Facts.
So for sorcery though,
that.
yeah, no, you're gonna pick that shit up and be like, holy fuck, like.
And X, you said you're 3 hours in, right?
I'm 3 hours in.
And you're level 17? Wow, what did you do?
He out there smacking those monkeys.
Yeah, man, I'm just like I said, like I'm really deep on the Reddit, so like I just optimize my gameplay by kind of spoiling everything for myself right now at the very least. So like I know where, like I said, I have my moon, or what is it called?
You got the Moonlight Katana?
No, I don't have that.
I was like, bro, goddamn, hold up.
I'm getting that tomorrow though.
I'm doing it tonight. That's my fucking goal.
Shit.
That's my build, bro. Like,
I'm making a spell blade. But no, I got some pretty dope sorceries. Like I got I think it's a gravity sorcery. I even picked that up from the Khalid Swamp. Like when
that's good. If you got that meteorite thing, it boosts gravity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There you go. Doing that min max, baby.
Boy, you already know the vibes. So like, yeah, I'm just like going to certain areas. Like for instance, there's an amulet I need to get that boosts my intelligence by 5 points. There's a helmet I know I need to get that boosts my intelligence by 5 points. So like, just with those 2 items, I'll have 30, and like that's gonna be OP. Because right now,
you about to have mega fucking focus.
Easily, bro. And yeah, once I fight Margaret, I think they drop like a pouch that allows you to like put additional amulets in it, and like
so. Yeah, Margit drops the amulet pouch, which gives you 1 additional amulet slot. So if you have 1, gives you 2. You get 2, get 3, whatever. But also, Margit drops the Remembrance of Margit, which is a giant, you know, the golden runes you pick up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Remembrance is essentially a giant golden rune. And if you're a strength build, it's cool because the weapons that Margit uses, like the strength-based shit, like in his second phase, he like grafts himself to a dragon head, so he has like a dragon head attached to his hand and it punches you.
So nice.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
So pleasant.
And his giant hammer he has, if you're a strength build, you can actually duplicate those in the round table and get those. If you're not a strength build, what you can do is, and this is me telling you to go south, there's these things called walking mausoleums. They're straight up just like a building with legs, and it's like, what's up? And like you have to go and like knock its legs out, and then when you, yeah, well, 100%. Like it's got a bell, and then if you start taking its legs out, it starts fucking like shitting rocks on you. It's fucking bullshit. But you take these walking mausoleums out, right? Don't do it yet until you have a remembrance in your inventory, because the mausoleums allow you to duplicate a remembrance, right? But the remembrances, if you want to get a cool weapon that boss had, you can spend them at the round table to get the weapon, or you can fucking literally eat them and gain like 20 to 30,000 runes off the rip. So you duplicate it, like for Margit's instance, like you and me, X, who aren't running strength builds, you can duplicate it and just crank out like 50,000 souls just because you were like, yep, fuck you. So it's good to know. It's fucking super cheese, but that's how I hit like 55, because I was like, what's up? Fuck you, building. I'm going to take your knees out. And I was like, oh, cool, I have that? All right, got it. But it works out in your manner, right? If you fight a boss that you're like, yo, that shit was fucking sick, right? So I think the third boss, which, not to reveal spoilers, is a sorcery boss. You can take her remembrance and then go to a walking mausoleum and duplicate that. And if you're a sorcery run, you can, one, get 20,000 souls out of it off the rip, but also duplicate their staff. So you've got like a nice little stimulus check of souls and then a staff. So yeah, no, it's fucking sick. It's pretty. I found it out like yesterday.
You guys know so much. I'm 13 hours
I know, quote unquote, so much because I played the Souls games, and I know that, like,
yeah,
there's nothing to know from it. You have to Google everything, really.
This was my first experience. This is my first experience with the Souls game, and I haven't looked anything up because I just don't. I don't know. I'm just having fun.
You're insane.
But I'm like 13 hours in, and I'm still trying to learn how to parry properly.
I gave up on that.
I'll tell you what, right? This is the first Souls game that actually added counterattacks into it. So fuck parrying unless you have like the buckler that's like this big, right? If you have a big shield, the parrying window is slow. If you got a small shield, you can parry very fast. But what you can do is find a shield that's small enough, right? Or like that one that doesn't over encumber you, and just block with RB or L1. And then when they hit you, one, you take a stamina debuff, obviously, because you got hit, but like the health chunk is like very small. But once you're hit, you can counterattack with a heavy. So it does like a fucking mega amount of damage when like you block, they hit, you swing, it'll be like pa-ching, and like you fucking like do it on melee weapons or melee enemies, because like sorceries, you're gonna block it and be like, huh, and you're gonna But if you're fighting a sorcery enemy, just go up and fucking stab him in the ass a couple times and like, oh, stop, please. Like,
I practice on like the fucking monkeys and shit. Like, just try to parry them and
monkey.
Better at it.
Yeah. So fuck parrying unless you have like the buckler shield that's the size of like a dinner plate, because the parry window is so slow that like your timing is always off. Right. The size of the shield actually determines how quickly you can react to a parry.
Yeah, because it's like heavier, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh, or like you have the small one, you're like, what?
Which is something I kind of want to get rid of the fucking weapon I have because it's so heavy.
What do you got?
This thing is so heavy, but I don't have anything better.
You have the halberd.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
just look up a guy to go get a nice, go get the guts great sword. It's super easy to get.
True, yeah. So if you're at Castle Morn, right?
I don't know.
Down south, the big castle down south where the big ass rune guys like and shooting at you.
I don't think I've been there.
Okay. Well, either way, it's
a different castle.
You probably are. It's a lower level thing down south, right? Just go. You're gonna go through a canyon, and I think it's called the Weeping Peninsula. Is the name?
There.
Okay. So keep fucking going south. Follow the road completely south on the compass. You're gonna run into a big ass castle, and then like do the Resident Evil thing and like clear that out. You're gonna inevitably end up on this small island, and you're gonna fight a boss that's called like the Beastmaster fucking XY. I forget his name. He gives you the Game of Thrones sword. If the halberd is slow, sure, but you're running a strength build, so like you have a little bit of constitution. But for your build, what I would do is like stack into strength, but also stack into vigor, because you're gonna want to fucking take a lot that you're doing to the face because you're wearing heavy armor. So your dodge isn't going to be as good, so to speak, as you need it to be, but the counterpoint to that is you're going to take a lot of fucking shit to the face. Because, like, my vigor right now at level 50 is like 1,000. If you're level... What level are you?
I'm level 26 right now.
26. If you've been dumping into strength and vigor, you should be about...
So wait, what is vigor for? Sorry.
So vigor boosts your health overall. So it adds HP to it. So
bro, I didn't put anything into that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, you should do that. You should do that. You're playing Dark Souls like off the rip
mode.
Yeah, honestly.
Bro, honestly. I haven't looked anything up.
I'm telling you, read the shit. When you level up, read what he said.
For the love of God.
So like, all right, if you got enough runes to level up, go through each stat and like hit one over and like look at the blue and be like, oh, it's gonna boost that stat.
I'll start doing bigger then.
Honestly, yeah. What's your strength right now? If you know.
Fuck, I don't really remember, but it's most of it. I put most in strength and then some.
Bro, you're probably like 27 strength or some shit. Like.
I put some into endurance. Yeah, it's pretty high for strength.
You're gonna be able to wield these fucking great weapons and then like take one hit, like, which so from now on,
start working on the vigor. Maybe then I can actually fight stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, you can because you can take a hit. So couple with level up your vigor, but also when you're exploring, pull up an IO map on your phone and look for the churches. Right? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, doesn't matter, church of something, or like a church, you're always going to find a sacred tier in the church, which gives your flasks a bigger boost when they heal you. So I think my flask is like +6 right now. So if I take a hit and like I go down to like 20 health, it heals all the way up to almost maximum. So it's good because I can kind of like feel out bosses here and there, right?
Yeah.
But go south because you have nothing to lose. It's a Dark Souls game. You die, okay, cool. Go pick your shit up. Level your vigor, Jesus Christ. But also your strength build. So like, find a weapon that you feel comfortable with your playstyle. If you're wearing heavy armor, just level your vigor because your roll's gonna be super duper slow. If you're wearing heavy shit, but you can take a lot more to the face.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What I hate, like, go ahead.
No, I was saying like I'm glad that like we're having like a TED talk on like stats in Dark Souls. Like that's every Dark Souls game ever, though. Honestly.
All right, I'm gonna go to the restroom, but y'all keep talking. Oh yeah.
The shit that I hate the most, dude, is the tells for enemy attacks. Like
it's such garbage. Because it's like
cheap.
It'll be like a thing, and then like the second phase, it's a fucking lie. It's like a bold-faced lie. Like,
you know what I mean? Or like they'll go to swing their sword, like they'll take a step, like, okay, I'm about to parry. You parry. They're not even swinging yet, so you parry again.
Yeah, you
like,
parry nothing. I know. So
he's parrying like 4 fucking times before like they actually swing the sword.
Who is it?
Like,
so if you go south. There's a great or a minor Erd tree, which is like a big ass tree. There's a tree sentinel there who's like a tree. I think it's called like tree avatar. It's like a giant fucking stump with legs. But this motherfucker I'm gonna look at he'll swing, and then like you're like, all right, you parry, and then like he stops when he's swinging. He's like charging up the swing, and then fucking swipes, and you're like, what the fuck was that, man? Like it's bullshit. But then like every single time. You don't learn, though, you know, you're like, all right, I got it. And you go to parry again, you're like, oh, it is too late. Like,
it's too late. You fucked up.
You fucked up, bro. Like,
I think it is what it is, bro. I'm sure all the Souls games have that bullshit in it, but it is such a cheap way to make a game hard. Like, I call that, like, artificial difficulty.
It is.
You know
it's 100%. It's like, Miyazaki even said that. It was like, a lot of the boss fights are designed to be hard. To essentially like train you to learn how things work, because you can cheese like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, even like the first boss if you're level like 7, if you know their combos, because you can be like, okay, you're gonna swing, dumb, jump, okay, sorcery, all right, roll left, okay, stab, and you can fucking poke stab an enemy the entire time if you keep up with your thing. I personally, I have too much of an ego, so I don't do that. Where I'll go in and be like poke poke, and I'll die, and I'm like, all right, motherfucker, like I'm not gonna stop. But like, I don't know. Miyazaki said that, but then like, they've reeled back a lot, with a lot of the bosses where it's not just a fucking like, can you out poke this enemy, right? I know for like Dark Souls 2 and 3 especially, it was fucking designed to be a poke game. Like, can you poke him, walk away, poke him, like.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. That's why I never finished Dark Souls 3. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I hate this. This is dumb. I do not want to fucking poke roll, poke roll, poke roll, poke roll in a fucking circle for 36 hours, because that's how long the game is, you know? Like,
That's how I play.
well, so I'm good. Like, you could play Demon Souls right now, the original Demon Souls, and pick it up, and you would succeed if that's your thing, right?
Oh, to answer your question in chat, like, yes, the game
Your wife? Yes, it is fucking exactly as hard as it seems. Because, I'll tell you what, everyone's ego gets in the way.
just like real life.
So,
Exactly.
Actually, I had Crystal. Well, Crystal actually wanted to download it. She downloaded it.
Oh.
So I'm trying to.
Are you gonna tell
her,
me she's like walking over you right now? She's like, "What are you talking about, William? It's not that hard." She's like playing this shit. Like,
yeah, probably. But she's like, she wants to get into it, and I was just like telling her like it's pretty hard.
girl, you sure? Like,
But I was scared to start it too, and I don't think it's as hard as.
So I think we talked about that last year. No, honestly,
No, I'm not saying
honestly,
like
it's fucking punishing. It's hard as fuck.
Don't get me wrong. It's punishing. It is hard as fuck. But people make it seem like it's impossible, which is not.
So that's the thing, right?
You just have to scale your.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but like I looked at some of these late game bosses, bro.
No, so late game bosses, yeah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about like we're talking about Linvale, where you're vibing right now and you have a post office or a PO box. Like late game, that's like you got to be like level like fucking 90 to go in there and be like, "What's up?" Because
look, I didn't say I was gonna beat this game. My main goal is to beat Margit, and that might just be the whole game.
That's it. Got it. I'm a fucking Elden Lord, bro. Like,
yeah, it might get too hard for me after that. So.
Bro, I am not gonna lie to you. So they patched it. They actually patched it. So if you're playing now, you're good. Like take 2 get goods and call me in the morning. You know, whatever the joke is. But Margit is significantly less difficult now than he was like launch day. They patched it. They were like, okay, this is fucking broken.
Really?
He's fucking hard. But like the day the game came out, like I wanted to straight up put my fucking I don't Kyle when I play games, but like fucking I swear to God, Margit, I was like, ooh, like I put it's right here. I'm like fucking. I was like, I'd be like this, and I'd be like, ooh, like I wanted to put my fist through my fucking.
Think about it. Think about doing it. You
think
about doing some ridiculous shit.
Like I put it down and I was like, like I had to clench my teeth and shit. Like I was like, all right, we'll try again.
Dude, I'll just stop playing. Like just turn it off.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's
come back to it later.
That's why Elden is designed to be for starters, which we talked about before. It is the most user friendly / like intro Souls game ever, because it's not forgiving, but it's a lot less forgiving than the other Souls games. Because you have help. You were never able to call in fucking Spirit Ashes in a boss fight.
Yeah.
You were never able to call in, like, you could call in, like, invaders or whatever to help you out or whatever. But, like, it's designed to be like, hey, it's like designed to humble you, honestly. To be like, hey, do you think you can do this? And you try it, you're like, nope. And it's like, all right, maybe you should go, like, level up or something. Because, like, honestly, that's, like, the learning curve. Is once you start leveling up to a point, because that was my big thing, is, like, I was like, yep, I'm going to streamline through the fucking main story. And, like, I get to fucking Godric, and I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And I had yet to explore the southern part of the map, which was designed for lower level players. And then, like, I hit fucking... I ran up through Caelid, which is whatever, because I got abducted, which is the thing, I don't know if you know. Some chests will actually abduct you like mimics and take you to another point on the map. So there's that.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it transported me to Kaled. And I was like, okay. And like I ran out of there like a fucking bat out of hell. But I leveled up from there, and like that's how I found that fucking 100k dragon. And I was like, all right, motherfucker. Went back into Godric, and I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, how dare you raise your voice, you fucking bitch?
I haven't seen gameplay of Godric, but I've seen screenshots, and I'm like, that guy, real big, real scary.
So I'll tell you one thing, like, I think we talked about it, maybe, or like I want to say I said it in the Discord the other day. One of my, I don't want to say it's a fear, because it's not a fear. One of my biggest, like, uncomfortability things is, like, I don't like large birds. Like, I'm not afraid of them, but I'm like, nah. Like, if I see a fucking huge bird, I'm like, you're gross. I don't like you.
There's, like, a part of the map where there's, like, giant...
Yeah. Like, the whole thing up to Godric is, like, giant fucking eagles with, like, swords for feet, and I'm like, I don't want to play... Yeah, I was like, I don't want to play this game. My wife thinks that I'm like perpetually afraid of birds. So like we'll go anywhere and she's like, "Look, babe, seagulls." And I'm like,
"Oh my god."
Okay. And she's like, "Aren't you scared?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not afraid of birds, but I don't like them." So it stems from the army, right? So when we would go to California to Fort Irwin near I forget the city, but Fort Irwin, right? There's these fucking crows that live down there that, like, I swear to God, have been eating, like, MRE trash for, like, the past 35 fucking years.
Nice. They're just built
they're fucking, like walking on their fucking wings, right? Like, what's up? And, like, I'm not afraid of them, but I'm like, don't touch me. Like, get away from me. Like, you're gross. Because they're like vultures. Like, they're gross. Like, they eat shit. They eat trash. They eat fucking, you know... And, like, I told that to my wife one time, and she was just like, okay, my husband's afraid of birds. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But there's this one section of Godric's Castle in Stormvale, like Stormvale Castle, where it's just nothing but fucking eagles with, like, literal swords for feet. And I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore, because that's gross. I don't like it. And also, they're fucking cheese as shit. Like, they just don't... They're fucking relentless. They're like mini bosses. I'm like, get the fuck away from me, like, you pieces of shit. And I'm a samurai, so, like, I don't block a lot. I'm just trying to roll and slice, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, good to know. Food for thought. Just, if you're, you don't like large birds, don't go to Stormvale. Just delete the game. You won, you know?
Facts.
Well, it sounds like we're all having lots of fun with Elden Ring.
Yes.
I guess.
I'm enjoying my time now that I'm just spoiling the game for myself constantly and reading every single thing ever about the game.
So, yeah, like...
Disregarding messages in-game from players, because...
Try finger, butthole!
I left a message yesterday in the round table room that said, if only I had a pickle.
All right, so I'll tell you,
3,000
and this is
appraisals.
Yeah, 99999. I'll tell you, I found one that was 99999. Like, it was like a golden appraisal. I was like, oh shit, is this important? Right? So there's this one part in Stormvale Castle where it's like a bunch of like burnt out corpses. It's like an infirmary or whatever on beds, right? And you can add animations to your messages. So this dude's doing push-ups on this corpse. Right? Okay. You can already get that image. God. Yeah. Okay. Well, hold on. You can add 2 tiers to your message. So this message is like this dude doing push-ups on this fucking, burnt out corpse. And it's like, oh lover, comma, oh lover, prepare for pickle.
That's horrible.
And I was like, that's top tier.
Why is pickle a word in there?
Because
people like us.
Well, yes, but actually, the vernacular pickle refers to the pickled turtleneck, which gives you more stamina.
How do you know that?
Oh my god.
Because I looked it up. I'm gonna be honest with you, I looked it up because I was like, why is pickle a thing? Because all the food you can get, like if you go out and actually hunt, like you're grinding, you hunt animals. You can get like small beast bones or like whatever. If you kill turtles, you get turtleneck meat. and then you craft it, it's like pickled turtleneck meat, which gives you a stamina boost. So that's why pickle's an item, or pickle's a word, but...
Try pickle.
Yeah, try pickle, question mark? No head, sad, and it's like a fucking body on the side of a fucking cliff.
I try not to read them, honestly, because, like, people will be like...
You should try
blah, blah,
jumping,
blah.
and then you're like, all right, and then you
I
die.
just don't like it. It just spoils shit all the time. I'm like, well, now I know there's a boss around the corner. Like, I'm not gonna get startled.
You don't want to know that there's a boss?
No,
you're gonna be startled regardless.
You're gonna be like, oh, well, so, like, yes and no, because, like, you're gonna turn the corner and see a fog wall and be like, okay, there's a boss ahead.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a mini boss or some bullshit.
Yeah.
The way I'm playing this game is just running around and just fucking whatever happens.
I would have uninstalled if I were you.
You did immediately. You did already.
Yeah, I did
immediately.
do that.
You were like, yo, PlayStation, you owe me some fucking money, bro. Like.
Oh, me money and therapy.
The reason that I've gotten into this game so much is just the adventure aspect of it, just discovering what the fuck is out there.
So yes. The fact that this is, because, like, that's one thing that, like, is insane to me, is that people are complaining about the game. They're like, this is just Dark Souls, it's an open world, and everyone's like, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Like, that's what we wanted. Like, everyone, like, Dark Souls has a cult following, obviously, like, all the Souls games, from fucking Demon Souls all the way up to fucking Sekiro, but, like, it's always been linear. Or like, welcome to fucking blood cunt caverns, and you're like, okay, like you know where you're supposed to go. With Elden Ring, it's like, welcome to Elden Ring, and you're like, okay, where do I go? And it's like, yeah, because like you can, the fact they taken out like linear development of the game, like you can fucking prattle your way into a fucking area that you were not supposed to be in, and then you're like, oh, I should probably leave, because you'll like go to stab an enemy and do like 3 damage, and you're like, I don't belong here at all.
I stumbled into the like rotten desert place.
Yeah,
and
Caitlin. Yeah, that's where I think you were on stream, but it was when that first NPC invader came in. Like, that area is not meant for you at all.
Which I finally killed that guy. Fuck him.
I know. I saw on stream. I think.
Was good. No, I did it off stream.
Oh no! Yeah, you were like, all right, I'm done. I remember that. You were like, I'm coming back to that.
Yeah, I killed him.
Oh, that fucking slam is dumb.
Yeah.
They do a good job of, like, you know, just letting you know subtly that you suck and you should.
BRB.
I think Tree Sentinel's a great example. Like, it's literally as soon as you leave the tutorial, there's a boss. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot kill this boss. You will not be killing this boss anytime soon. So, like, you quickly have to learn, fuck that guy. I'm about to go do some other shit. I'm about to kill these soldiers for 2 hours and, like, level myself up.
Yeah. And, well, that's when before I played the game, I, like, looked up a tip video for, like, new players like me. And one of the biggest things they stressed was, like, don't be afraid to run away. So, like, as soon as I hit Tree Sentinel for the first time, I was like, oh no, this is not someone I should be fighting. And I never went back, except for that one time on stream. But
we should kill him on stream, like, this weekend. Like, I think I'm not ready to solo him. I'm only level 17.
Yeah, we could probably take him out, though.
We absolutely can. I think the thing is, though, when you co-op, you can't
use your horse. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
If you're co-op, you cannot use your horse.
You
So
use your summons?
No, you can't use your summons.
Nope. If you're co-op, so the best thing with co-op is to co-op with 2 people. So you have 3 people to fuck with. Yeah, you can't use your horse. So a lot of these bosses that people like,
your whole strategy.
Yeah, you lose everything. Like Rom,
Oh, dude,
I think.
we're not killing Tree Sentinel. There's no way.
You can. So you can do it.
Yeah.
I promise you can kill Tree Sentinel by yourself if you cheese him with the horse. Like.
But I'm saying me and X.
Oh no, you
have to tank.
You can, but like you yourself have to be fucking on point with.
I'm gonna have to take the aggro.
You're gonna have to juggle aggro, where like you're gonna deal damage to keep him aggroed, and then block. Like, don't forget that you can counterattack, like block damage, and then when he hits you and like you block it, you might take a health debuff or whatever, like take some damage, but then immediately like follow up with a heavy, so you get that like like charged attack swing, because Tree Sentinel, if you kill his horse, right? Because there's 2 separate health bars. He gets knocked down, and you can come up and perform a visceral attack on him because he's downed, which takes out like a good fucking like third of his health. But also,
the problem is I'm gonna be in the moment and I'm gonna forget everything you just told me.
I know, and I can't wait for it because I'm gonna watch it live on Twitch.
I'll be there to. I'll be in the comms.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Bro, we'll back up, but that's the thing. Like a sorcery and a tank combo is like one of the best. I don't want to say PvP compositions because that's a big thing in Elden Ring 2 is PvP with every Souls game is like just invading people like to be a piece of shit. But is having somebody go up and like taking it to the fucking face that doesn't affect really, and then you up there with your fucking glintstone being like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, because you're gonna deal damage, but you're not gonna deal enough where he changes aggros.
Yeah.
And if he does, just be like, okay, like you start fucking running in circles, and then Bill gives him a little fucking ass stab, and he's like, hey, who are you? And he like fucking forgets who he is. You can definitely kill him in co-op. It's just you gotta. There's a tactic that comes along with it, which is insane to me, but like that's where we're at. Like,
and some of these end-game sorceries are so beautiful.
So sorcery is one thing, like with the intelligence build, but like some of these fucking OP fucking builds are like straight up faith.
Oh, incantations.
Yeah, like incantations are fucking gross. Like there's one you get from like that fucking fuckface in the round table with the gold mask, where it's like burst of flame, and like anything in like a fucking like 10-meter radius is like immediately engulfed in fire, and with a knockback. But it takes like a 36 faith to like wield it. So like, and that's like end game spells. But like, if you're power leveling into that, like right now I'm 50, and my dex is 32, and my vigor is 30, I think. So like, you can get there real quick, right? It's I don't know. It takes a lot of things, but like my whole thing is like I want to start building into sorcery now that I'm wielding as a samurai. Like, so I have bleed and sorcery, so I can exhaust that as like quick DPS if like you get to one of those bosses where you're like, bro, he's got 7 health, but like I can't get close to him to fucking attack. I'll just be like, okay, eat shit, like cast a pebble at him and he dies.
Yeah, man, I want to make a faith build. Like a quick tip, like if you go into the round table hold, you go to where that NPC spawns, like that invader, and you immediately go through the doors on the left all the way to like all the way in the left, multiple doors. There's a dope ass weapon called the Cypher Pata. It's a faith-based weapon.
Yes, sir.
Pick that shit up for free. You will die probably if you don't have any intentions of killing that invader, but like, dope faith weapon.
Just roll in there with no souls, because you die, you come back to the round table. But also, every item you pick up before your death is in your inventory. It's not like, oh, you lost it, go back.
That would suck.
Like, because that's what some people do, is they'll like go into a place where they know they're not supposed to be, but they're looking for a specific thing. That was my thing when I started my faith or my sorcery build. Was I wanted the meteorite staff, but it's in Kaled, and I was like, okay, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Like I ran in with my horse, grabbed it, and like ran away. Like you can get some OP builds with it, and then like utilize your ashes. Honestly. I'll tell you, in Mistwood, which is in, I think, Lingrave, it's the eastern side of Lingrave, where you roll in and it starts like, it's like Mistwood or whatever. There's a well. It's like a giant building, and you go in, it's an elevator. I think you said, you're like, oh, I found myself to the underground, right?
Yeah, I went down there.
Yeah. So it's a higher level area for where you're at, but there's one thing, and this actually rolls into what I wanted to like touch on, because it kind of almost brought a tear to my eye, because I was like, this is beautiful. But in that area, was it the place where it was like purple stars everywhere on the ceiling? And you're like,
it like opens up into the whole other map.
Yeah, so that's Mistwood, right? In Mistwood, there is a boss called the Ancestral Spirit. And it's a giant like elk with like bone. It's like a skeleton elk, but it's a spirit, right? But in that area, you can actually, once you beat him, you get one of the best summons in the game, which is a ghost minotaur, which pulls aggro with like spirit arrows, which are like fucking this big. Like they're not fucking arrows, they're like ballista bolts, right? And he pulls aggro, but he's also a tank. So if you're in a boss fight, you can summon this motherfucker, and he'll go in and like start pulling aggro for you, and you go up and backstab whatever boss you're in. Because that's another mechanic that a lot of people like forget exists in a Dark Souls game. Is that like if you get behind somebody, just light attack, and you can fucking usually do a critical by backstabbing.
Yeah.
But the Minotaur thing, right? Like to caveat in what I was talking about, this is one of the most beautiful and cinematic boss fights that I have ever seen in a Dark Souls game, because every single Dark Souls game that I've encountered through proxy or played or whatever, like usually are like bah, 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 like the fucking, you know, like the music is like insane and orchestral and all that.
Yeah.
This thing too, this boss fight makes you work for it, right? In this area, that Mistwood area, you have to light these torches. And there's 8 of them, which is a fucking pain in the dick. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it fucking sucks. Once you light them, you go up to this fucking like this skeleton stag corpse, and you touch it, and it transports you to an area where you can like, you know, call and call up. It's like a cave, but it's like the fucking biggest goddamn like mist wall I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's not just like a little fucking, you know, like door you walk through or whatever. It's fucking insane, right? The build-up is so amazing. Because
I haven't done much down there because it's like pretty hardcore down there. So,
well, that's the thing. It is 100%. The boss also, right? To go back into like our music discussion earlier, is such a fucking like leg sweep on you when you expect the Dark Souls boss, because like this boss is he's hard, but not hard if you start to read him. But the music is actually what sells it, which I think we talked about earlier, is how like music is such a big thing in a lot of games. Back to Tony Hawk, but he's called the Ancestral Spirit, and like the music goes from like that insane orchestral like no, you know, like insane, like oh my god I'm gonna die, to like it's almost like somber, because there's a lot of
I love that.
well, there's like a lot of traditional like Japanese instruments involved, like the erhu and stuff, and like there's a maraca, but you can tell it's like bones because it's straight up like a skeleton that you're fighting. But if you actually watch the cutscenes and everything and like read into the lore, you're technically the bad guy in this fight, because this boss was just straight up a corpse, and like his spirit had left the realm, and he's like, all right, cool, I moved on. And you're like, no, fuck you, motherfucker, come on back. And you bring him back. So you bring this boss back from the dead just to fucking kill him again. And like the music, because it's such a like a tone shift. Like when I was fighting it with a couple friends, I was like, I don't want to finish this. Like I don't want to kill him. Like like I'm the bad guy here. Like it's so sad, which is such a fucking insane shift for a Dark Souls game, because like I said, like every other Dark Souls game is like this insane orchestra thing, and you're like, you're the bad guy, or they're the bad guy, and you're like, I'm gonna liberate the land. But you get down there, like this boss you're fighting is able to be fought 1000% because of you. Like, you were the bad guy who brought him back to life, who'd be like, hey, man, what's up? And he's like, oh, you know, I'm a spirit just chilling. And you're like, that's fucking cool, run those pockets. And he's like, what?
Give me them drops.
But it's also, like, one of the biggest, like, spectacles when it comes to, like, a lot of Dark Souls fights, which, yes, a lot of the bosses have, like, this big cinematic experience, but, like, this thing, like, sets the tone, dude. Like, you go into this cave, and it's a skeleton, like it's a giant elk, but like it's got this like light blue aura about it, along with like all the mushrooms on the ground and stuff. So you're not like in like a fucking dingy church like with every Dark Souls game, or like you're not in an open field or whatever. Like you're in this man's house, like killing this dude, right? I don't know. It's one of the like, I think, best experiences I've had, because like it proves that Elden Ring has broken the mold when it comes to like Miyazaki's idea of like, hey, every boss fight should make you want to kill yourself in real life, to where like you have this like existential crisis when you fight this boss. I'm like, yo, am I the bad guy here? Like, it's a spectacle because this boss will jump all over the room and stuff, and you're like, the whole time I was like, wow, like watching this elk fucking prance through the ceiling, but then. Like, it made me think deep down. I was like, yo, I didn't need to do this because it's a fucking optional boss.
Yo, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, like, I was like, dude, I'm the bad guy here. And what you get from it is the Minotaur, which is one of the best Ash summons or spirit summons in the game.
Worth it.
But like, yeah, honestly. But then like, I had this like existential crisis afterwards where I was like, did I need to do that? Like,
Yes.
I brought him back to life to kill him to be like, give me your shit. You know, like.
That's amazing that you had like an experience like that, because every fight in this game for me is like, get the fuck away from me.
Well, yeah, no, like, cause he like I say, he's an okay boss. Like, he's not super hard once you learn his rhythms, but like, it's such a fucking tone change and a spectacle, as opposed to everything. And like, I want to say like the biggest contributor to that is the music, because it's not that fucking insane orchestral like, like horror, like, you know. It's like somber, where you're like, I'm the bad guy, like.
Well, I gotta get down there.
But honestly, like to power level your shit, yeah, go down there, kill that motherfucker, and like get that Minotaur, which will save you. Because if the enemy's attacking you, that bad boy will put his horns down and charge the shit that's coming at you to like stun them. So.
Yeah, I want the Minotaur for sure.
I felt bad afterwards, but now after being like fucking dick stomped by dragons, I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. I'm sorry.
Well, anything else on Elden Ring for now?
I'm about
hours, but I probably should.
I mean, I know we could keep going, but
we could. We're like 2 hours almost, so like.
Yeah, we're 2 hours again. We did it again. God damn it.
Goddamn right.
And it's almost 12:30, so.
So what is it Games That Made Us Part 3 next week? Or it's...
I don't know. Maybe we'll revisit eventually.
Elden Ring Part 2? Like.
Down for whatever, dude. I'm definitely gonna be grinding Elden Ring all week.
100%. I legitimately, after we're done with the cast, I'm going to straight up like hit the stream deck and be like, all right, we're playing Elden Ring. What's up? Like.
Well, go play. Let's cut it.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I had a good cast. We talked about a lot of key points in our childhoods, which I think that's usually what, or realistically, what this was about.
A lot of Elden Ring too.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the fact that like, which I feel like is kind of shitty on my part at least, because like one of our biggest things with our brand, I guess, on the cast is like, oh yeah, what we've been playing this week, and then I'm like, oh, I just Elden Ring, nothing else. Nope, just Elden Ring.
I mean, me too. I haven't played anything else either.
Yeah, I know.
Time to play anything else, because then you you lose your rhythm and like you forget.
Yeah, you like forget how the game works and shit. Then you get mad at again all over again. Like
forget where stuff is. Like, you know. All right.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to call that. Yeah, so if you're listening on Twitch or listening on the listening on the podcast platform, Jesus. This has been another episode of Super Pixels Weekly. Everything about our personal informations and personal YouTubes and Twitches and all that will be in the description below, on top of the fact that we're joined again this week by LOWMESA, so his information is going to be down there. Get that man to affiliate. But also, I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, honestly. Like,
yeah. That's it. X, you have anything else to say? Or
any more Elden Ring gripes for the outro? Like,
no, I will say, just remember to have fun, man, when you're playing these video games. Don't request refunds because you got killed by a golf cart. It's not worth it. You're gonna just buy it.
That's exactly what that thing is a straight up golf cart with spikes. Holy fuck.
Go play Elden Ring and try to have fun, and don't get too mad. If you start getting mad, just be like, yo, this is a video game.
You start getting mad, just be like, it'd be like that sometimes, and go play like Beautiful Katamari or something. Like, go vibe out for a second, and then come back.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get you guys next week.
Yep, pick it up next week, and we'll probably be back to news and stuff, because we haven't done that in like a month.
Yeah, who cares?
Talk about math. Let's just talk about numbers now.
You guys ever heard of algebra? That sounds fucking sick.
No, thank you.
Heard about the James Webb Telescope and what it's been discovering in the center of our galaxy? Shit's pretty terrifying.
Fucking me up, bro.
These nuts.
You synced up, bro. Why you tripping on my technical
It
skills?
doesn't look like I was like a second behind.
Yeah, you're a second behind.
Ooh.
God